Live right now. What's up, everybody? Hopefully, y'all can hear me. We had some technical issues going on in the back where he couldn't hear me. I thought it was his fault, but it was my fault. I had to go make some adjustments on my equipment. Those kind of things happen. I'm going to be late for my own funeral. Y'all know how it goes. CP time all the time over here. But we're going to be getting into this. I don't even think I got to get that much of a backstory. I think y'all know Clarence Jr. and what he's about and his stance on things. He has a lot of disagreement with this space and a lot of the things that we say. So we about to hash it out. We about to hash it out. About to hash it out. He says, "Oh, great, another one. Is he worse than Amiri?" He's on the Amiri spectrum, but I don't know if he's worse. But we'll see how this go.
It's
We'll
funny
see
because
how
I
this
really
go.
don't agree with Amiri hardly at all.
You said you don't agree. All right. Well, now I'm about to roll my intro. That was just a little pre-intro ramble. We'll get into it. We'll get into it. But all right, let's go ahead. Let's get. Oh, I got to do this in your honor. But well, no, because we got you on here. I got to do this in your honor before I roll the intro.
It was he who.
All right, let's get ready to go. Let's get it.
Peace, folks. This is X from TPOT Media. Open your mind and wake your black ass up. You know what time it is. Hit that damn like button as you make your way in the door. Grab a seat, settle in, get ready. It's the Grown Man Hour with your host, my man, Bernard Riley.
All right. Okay, yeah, you on camera now. That's what's up. That's what's up. So welcome, or I should say welcome back. You've been a guest on my show before. You've been a panelist from time to time, but
Every
but
now and again.
welcome back. What's going on? Get the boring question out of the way. How did you even get into this doing I destroyed. Okay. Shout out to Little Big Nate. I was about to read that. Oh, shout out to the early bird squads. Those that make it in bright and early before we even get things started. Uneducated Lame in the building. CJ, who you see on the panel. Snazzy individual. We got Joe Ethereal Cats. Carts. I'm gonna look at it right there. Carts Brown. Jackie Jack. Free Will. Who else we got in here? Shadow Observer. Little Big Nate in the building, LB Crypto. But all right, shout out to all of y'all that made it in bright and early. Tell me, how did you get into this space and get entangled in this kind of content, or entangled into the manosphere? I do view you as a detractor. You, as Jackie pointed out in the chat room, you are a good sport. I don't look at you as somebody who's going to try to do nefarious things, that's going to try to just bring people down. You ain't gonna get all into the doxing, all into the personal stuff, and
That's
no
corny.
personal beefs and fighting and all of that. No, you just come in with your bad arguments I think you kind of out of sync. You kind of out of sync.
Yeah,
So
I don't know
you,
what's. Hold on.
yeah, you kind of out of sync. But that's all right. If we can't get that figured out, you can go off camera. It's all good. You just come in with your bad arguments. We pick them apart and we kind of go back and forth a little bit, and it's all good. It's all good, clean fun. But so yeah, so just give us just the background of how you got even entangled into this space.
I would probably say the first introduction I had was actually
Yeah,
like
bro,
years.
you so hold on, you so out of sync. Just go ahead and go off camera. Your
All
mouth,
right,
it's like worse than the Chinese movies. Like says, just go on and go off camera.
all right. But yeah,
And oh yeah, and just so you know, the firing squad is loading up. They they're loading up their weapons. They getting it all ready to go. Okay, just so you know, the firing squad is getting ready. But anyway, but all right, go ahead. So what got you into this space? How'd you get entangled in all this?
I would probably say the first introduction was probably like way back. It was actually O'Shea, and I was
Mhm.
actually watching O'Shea not for like the red pill stuff per se. I didn't even know what red pill was at that time.
Okay.
I was watching him because just his video, like he was funny. Like that's
Yeah.
why I was watching. Like he was a funny guy. And I think from there is where I kind of heard of everybody else after that.
Yeah. Was he doing like the celebrity junk then, or was it just
Oh no, back then it was like him versus Cynthia G. That stuff was hilarious.
well,
That's
he
the only
never
reason I heard of her because they're back and forth.
Yeah, I remember he did an interview with her. Not really a back and forth with her, but he did it. I remember she like did the lead off on the Sunday Rumble, and he like interviewed her, and then everybody came up, and that's sort of where and everybody came up, and then everybody went back and forth with her. I remember he used to do that a lot, you know. Really, part of the idea and the format of my show kind of comes from that, doing a one-on-one discussion with somebody. They come in, they get their views out there, and then they their views, if they ain't making sense, they got it, or if they're making sense, either way, they got to face scrutiny. We gonna pick it apart. We gonna run a fine-tooth comb through whatever nonsense come out of the person's mouth, and hey, you stand in it, defend your views, defend your perspective, and then hey, it's almost like you get jumped in, so to speak. You get jumped into the space. But so yeah, I remember when O'Shea was definitely doing that, and yeah, he definitely had something going there. So way back then, that's when you found out about O'Shea. When did you start doing content?
I've probably been doing content for probably about a year and a half, maybe something like that. And that started like when did I start? Yeah, about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, something like that.
Okay, all right. Other than caping for women on the internet, like what do you do? You don't even got to answer this question. Like what do you do for real in real life? You don't got to answer this one if you don't want to.
Well, without getting too specific, because people be tripping, but
Yeah.
I work a full-time job with benefits.
Fair enough. Yeah. I mean, no. I mean, hey, I wouldn't expect anything less. That's a full-time job with benefits, working man. All right, cool, no problem. You ain't got to say exactly what you do. No big deal. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and get into this. Now, I'm gonna give a backstory for those that don't know. This is my perception of you. You can tell me if I'm right or wrong. When CJ, well, you was going by CJ, now it's Clarence Jr. You don't mind either one, right?
Yeah, it don't matter.
Okay, cool. All right, so because I'm in my mind, I still call you CJ because that was your original name. When he came in, when he came through the door, he was basically saying a lot of things that we agree with. I remember I first noticed you did a reaction video to, I think, something that happened with Kevin Samuels. It kind of went viral or semi-viral. It got like 30,000 views, which for the size of your channel, that is viral. So,
yeah, that was a huge one.
yeah. Congratulations on that one. But and that was when I first saw you, and then I started watching, some of your stuff, and I was like, okay, you got a decent perspective. But back then, you were saying stuff that was more in line with the stuff that we agreed with. All right. At least that's what I saw. I mean, it was straddling the fence. It was almost like a balanced perspective, but not really, but not nothing that I would call blue pill pandering or simping, or white knighting. It wasn't none of that. So it was cool. And then so it's like you did that, and then you got your foot in the door, you got your left foot in the door, and then I was like, all right, yeah. And now when I saw your video go viral, and then you had a few good, concepts or ideas, and I was like, all right, cool. Because that's what I do, and I see somebody that doing content in this space, and I bring them on for a one-on-one. I like to spotlight people, so I brought you on. We did that one-on-one, and all that time you were, in my opinion, you were masquerading as a Manospherian. But then after you got that one-on-one with me, it was like, all right, I'm in the door, I'm in the club now. And then you like zipped out of your red pill skin and showed the you took off the outer shell and then exposed this, and then then you came out the closet, so to speak, and then start going full blue pill, pander bear, simping. And I was like, whoa, he got us. It was like you slipped on. You was a sleeper cell under the radar. You tried to float under the radar, and you effectively did it. And then you went full pander bear after you kind of got knighted into the club. And then I had to take down the video because I'm like, nah, I can't endorse this dude no more. So am I accurate in what I described right there on how you tried to sneak float Splinter Cell under the radar into the Manosphere?
That's the part that I'll be getting lost on, just because, like, if you go through even if you just look at the titles, I'd still call out the things that women do on a regular basis. It's just two-sided to it. That's all. Like, I call out the other side as well, but I call out women like almost like every other video.
Come on, man.
Like, for real, you can go through the titles right now. You're going to see quite a bit of stuff talking about what's going on with women.
Every other video
about that.
No, I see your titles pop up, and I ain't gonna lie, I don't watch all the videos. I'll freely admit that I don't watch all the videos. However, off title alone, it don't sound like you're calling out the women. But sometimes titles can be deceptive. So I will grant you that, and I will give you that. I will grant you that, and I'll give you that. But overall, you more or less presented yourself in this space as somebody who has pushback and critique of this space, who's basically coming to try to challenge or counter it, basically to essentially, in my perspective, defend the sisterhood. But either way, that's my opinion and my perspective. But either way, let's get into it, because let's start here. Let me ask you this question. Give me something that you generally see wrong, or that you disagree with, that you see going on in this space. Well, hold on, I'm looking at your channel. Okay, it says, when did toxic become cool? Blueface and girlfriend get into a physical altercation. I don't know, maybe you called her out for throwing the first punch. Okay, I'm looking at, women do not control access to sex. Don't take dating advice from red pill men. Meaning average man isn't good enough. What does winning look like for red pill men? I'm going down. I'm going down the list. Hypersexuality in Black America. One says unruly women. Or I bet you massage the hell out of it. But anyway, I'll be keeping it. All right. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and start right there. Let's get into it. Tell me what you I'll let you start it right there. Just give me something that you more or less disagree with, or have more or less of a problem with something that you see more or less going on in this space.
Well, it's more so of like a critique of like the progression. Like, for example, well, let me backtrack. One point of disagreement that I do have is like the whole there seems to be like a tone or a belief that by and large, black women don't want to be married to black men. I disagree with that.
By what time though? By what age? At what point? I do think they run into. I do think they do get to that point where it's like, okay, now it's time to cash in. You know, by cash in, I mean, like I always say, when they get to the point where they find themselves over 30, overweight, possibly with a couple kids by a couple men, then yeah, okay, it's time to sit my ass down somewhere. Yeah. By then, yeah. But
Well,
overall, but and even then, some of them will ride that train out a little longer. Like I was just talking, I know a lot of stories where, I mean, I recently talked to a woman where she said even her mom was like, I think she met a guy when she was around 30-ish, and she, the guy loved her, and she was like, "Do not propose to me until I'm over 40. I ain't nope, I ain't going." And then once she got over 40, he finally proposed, and she said yes. I currently right now, I know a woman. She's in her early 40s, and she got a high school principal just orbiting around. He was a mentor to both her kids. Her kids are grown now, so he's been around, close to 20 years, just orbiting, floating around. This woman, she's still chasing. She's still chasing fast life dudes and and all of that stuff. But eventually, by about 45, 47, she's gonna finally cash in and accept that marriage proposal that's been sitting on the table for 20 years from this high school principal that just been orbiting around. It's like women. So like I personally know situations where women who over 40 got high school principals who want to marry them, and they're still they ain't going until they get until life outboxes them into a corner. I don't know if you're familiar with boxing, when a good fighter will cut off the ring and make it to where, when the one person, he try to go to the left, he cut him off that way, try to go right, he cut him off that way, keep cutting him off to the point to eventually he's backed into a corner and he got no way out. And I was like, damn, now I gotta fight him. Basically, when life outboxed them into that corner, that's when they actually want to get married. When that happens, with a lot of them. But you take a lot of them, when they're 25 years old, no kids, don't got a whole lot of trauma and all kind of stuff built up, no scars from their past. They, you take them then, and when they're in some of their best physical shape and condition, take them right then, right there in that moment. Many of them, no, they do not want to get married. When life kicked them in the ass, yeah, now they want to get married. But even then, as we saw from Kevin Samuels' show, they didn't want to get married to the guy who was on their level. Because if you're over 30 or over 40, overweight, got a couple kids by a couple different men, that damn garbage truck driver, I mean, that guy who that garbage man who make 45K, yeah, that's your boo. That's the dude you actually qualify for now. But even then, they didn't even want him. they wanted somebody who they may have qualified for, 10, 15 years ago. They actually want they don't even want the guy that they actually qualify for. So you can't say they want to get married to black men if the narrow, window of black men that they want to, the type of black men that they want to marry, in the narrow window of their life that they do want to actually marry those men, and what in their condition when that window happens. No, you can't then say they want to get married to black men. I reject the premise on that. But go ahead.
But I would say it's a very nuanced issue. Like there's a lot of different factors that go into it. Like I would say, number one of the biggest issues that we have right now is just the culture that we have. Like the culture that we have that's being promoted is not conducive for successful black families in general anyway. So that's a huge problem right there.
Explain this, coach. Explain what's being promoted.
Casual sex, hooking up, whatever you feel like doing. If it feels good, go ahead and do it. Just, you only live once, that kind of thing.
Okay. Do everybody else live in the same culture as Black people? I mean, I guess in the same country, or those things that you said, do those cultural elements apply to other people?
To an extent, but I think like ours is like on steroids.
Okay, and that's fair. That's fair. So other people are more or less in the same culture with the same messaging. Just for whatever reason, our culture leans more into that, more heavy. But what I would say is, based off what I just described, that a lot of the women do, that's essentially them buying more heavy into that culture. If you look at, just regular dudes out there, like, okay, it's guys at the top that got options who they good, they good with where it's at. They could play the game, they could keep it casual, they could hook up, they could do this, they could do whatever they want to do. All right. They could they could do whatever they want to do. Then when they, ready to settle down, they can go ahead and do it. They can live that life. But for the most part, most regular dudes, who ain't just getting it like that, maybe they can get it like that from some below average at best women, but just regular dudes, they ain't getting it like that on the market. I think most regular dudes, like that damn high school principal, they would be okay with the one-to-one marriage, and that's who you life partner with situation. Most dudes would be okay with that. I think the one thing that we've done is that we've taken the mask off the real Scooby-Doo villain and have showed that it's not the men who, that type of culture that you say that's not conducive for families. I think we've snatched the mask off the real Scooby-Doo villain and showed that it's really not the men. I mean, it's easy to hear a channel where somebody who's in position to where, yeah, they got it like that, they could pump and dump, saying, yeah, pump and dump, pump and dump. But when you look at the facts and see that, 30% of men, under the age of 30, 30% of them are virgins or reported no sex in the last year. Like, these dudes will accept a relationship. These dudes will get married to some in-house pussy. It's like, so I think more so than the men, it's the women who don't want this thing that you said the culture doesn't promote.
See, and that's where I would disagree because it's just like these women, they got to be having sex with somebody. They got
Yeah.
to be getting the money and the followers and the attention from somebody. So
Well,
it's
if you're
like,
talking
where's it coming from?
Well, if you're talking about getting the money and the followers, I mean, okay, when you're talking about, if you're talking about I ain't even talking about the Insta chick. I ain't even talking about the chick with 250,000 followers on Instagram. I'm talking about just the regular chick. When she's single and free and doing her thing, yeah, she would rather be, in the rotation of some guy that she think is, that deal. And I ain't even talking about because of his success level or anything that he accomplished. He could just be just a good looking dude. He could just be just a dude who she just feels something tingly on the inside when she get around him. And yeah, she'd rather be single and free and hook up with him every Tuesday and Thursday and live her life and go party on the weekend and do her thing, so when you say they got to be having sex with somebody, yeah, I wasn't that dude like that because I had like a 4-year period where I was single and I was out there. So, I've had like a little mini rotation before, a little mini rotation. I've lived that life for a little bit. So I kind of know how it is. I kind of know how that go. So it's like the women who are out there living a casual sexual lifestyle, it's not like they just evenly distributing the pussy amongst men. No, I mean it's some guys who can get it when they're in a relationship, and there's some guys who can get it without a relationship with very little investment. And so those very little, no relationship, but still getting sex guys are the ones who are hooking up with, most of the women. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a fair assessment. I don't put a number on it. I don't just say 80-20 rule or nothing like that. I don't try to, if there's no hard stats to prove it, I'm not going to say that, but I'm just saying it does ring as generally true. It does ring as generally true that when you talk about the percentage of guys in the middle who ain't getting it like that, I'm saying those guys would love to have the arrangement that it used to be, to where, hey, you show up, you got a good decent job, you're a good decent man, you make enough money to provide a roof over her head, running water, electricity, and food on the table. And there's a woman right there who just jumping up and down happy to go. Well, they weren't always jumping up and down happy, though. That's a whole nother nuance to that. But there's a woman there and available who lives with her father, who he basically do a nice little handoff from you to her, and then that guy goes and bees with that woman. I think most guys will accept that arrangement as opposed to the current arrangement where the gameless vertically challenged, that means not very tall, the gameless not very tall guy got to figure out how to get cool, got to dress right, got to have the right shoes and this or that, and learn how to get out there and max some women and even though he just don't got the personality, or just he ain't got it, but he got to figure out how to play this modern day game of macking, because that's what the market dictates. I mean, look, he would be happy if he could just get one decent one who respected him. But the market is just so to where no, the guy who out there with his collar popped with, that's gaming him down is cleaning up, and he's just, he's out there, he can get sex if he gets a relationship, but the relationship game is a very stagnant game, because chicks, they don't just get with a relationship and stay. A lot of them are serial monogamous. They'll be with one dude for 3 months, get tired of him, and then be out of there, be moving on. So I mean, it's a game that's flipped upside down and kind of corrupt. So not corrupt, that's the wrong word. It's a game that's flipped upside down, but I don't think you can blame men for it being flipped upside down. I don't think men flipped it upside down. But hold up. We got Sir Tice in the building. Sir Tice in the building says, CJ, just because something is being promoted does not mean people should adhere to it. I'm sure you'll agree with that. I'll let you respond to that. You and others that offer this take acts as if folks have no agency in this. They're just sheep to the propaganda, right? I'll let you go respond to that.
Oh no, I'm not saying that it's not their fault for what they're doing. I'm just saying that that's what it is right now, and it's prevalent, really, for the most, like, it's really, really being pushed right now. Mm-hmm. Obviously, they have the choice not to engage in it, but I mean, nowadays people don't necessarily think for themselves as much as you would think that they would.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to Golden Eagle 99. I be barely catching you in my chat room, but when I had Amiri on, I remember you sent like three $20 super chats. I only read one of them because when I saw the other two, I thought they were the same one over and over again, and I missed so many super chats that day because I got so many. I got a new system now where I got an admin who basically stars every super chat, so every super chat will be read and will be responded to. So I got a new system because I felt bad because so many people sent super chats that day. When I went back through it, I was like, whoa, I missed so many good people. I missed $50 super chats that was with good questions written in there. And so I felt bad, but I got a new system to make sure that don't happen again. But shout out to Golden Eagle. Do want to acknowledge your support. But all right.
But you said something really interesting.
Okay, good. Go ahead.
You said, and let me, I don't want to forget. You said,
just go ahead and botch it. I'll remember what I said once, and I'll repeat it. Just go ahead and botch it.
Oh yeah, here we go. You were talking about how many women don't want to get married until later, if at all. And so my question would be, why do you think that is?
I think freedom feels good. I think listen, I mean, getting married to one man means just you're literally attached to him, especially if he's a structured man. Now you gotta, submit to aspects of that structure or just be an unbearable bitch in the house. So I mean, why have all of that? Why, they're on some, wait a minute, we can be free and do what we want to do. The system is set up where we can make just enough money to get by in an air-conditioned cubicle where we don't lift nothing that weigh more than 5 pounds. Hey, let's just wait it out. Let's be free. Let's have our fun. Let's be either out there, having casual sex, or just being, serial monogamous or whatever, whatever is going on. Some of them be messing with a bunch of dudes at a time. Some of them just be, bouncing around. They want to go take their girls trips. They want to have their fun. They generally want to have their freedom. Some of them will guise it under well, I was focusing on my career, or I was focusing on me, or I was focusing on this, or I was focusing on that. And they, so either way it go, yeah, they want to live their life. They're essentially more masculine. They want to be like men. Men do, you know, men do want to get at a certain point in their life, and which is technically good. When you look at, you know, a man starts making more money when he starts, you know, gets to about 35, you know, they want to men want to get to that point in their life before they start taking on, you know, kids and, you know, family and all of that stuff. But women, I mean, it's biologically different for them, but either way it go, they are essentially more masculine in that sense, that they want to do it and operate and function like men. And that's sort of what feminism has taught them, that they can wait it out. They can wait it out and then do it later in life like men. So yeah.
That's part of it. But I also think like the part that's missing is I don't think we dig deep enough into these issues. Like,
All right.
for example, I think that a good part of why women wait or don't want to get it at all is for several reasons, such as fear and lack of trust. Some of that is understandable, and then some of that is from just, you know, different programming and propaganda that they've seen. So a lot of women are, in my opinion, are fearful of fully investing in a relationship with a man because they got a fear that one day he's going to leave me, or he's going to cheat on me, or he's going to leave me broke and destitute and all these kind. He's going to try to control me with his money. That's a real belief and fear from a lot of women for a lot of different reasons that we really got to like start to dig into, because that's really, because when I hear a woman say like, even if I get married, I don't want to be a housewife. What I hear is I'm afraid to fully rely on this man because what if he leave me one day?
Okay, the flaw and the problem with that, to where if she does get married to a man and it is a housewife situation, and and typically if a woman is getting married and it's a housewife situation, we're talking about a man who's making probably money in the, let's just say, top 20%. He's making around 80,000. So if you're making 80,000 and the woman is making zero, and y'all are married for 5 to 10 years, and he leaves her, and you need to talking about them. I'm scared he gonna leave me, but we know who doing the leaving. We know the stats.
That's
on
a
who's
complex issue as well.
we know, okay, well, we'll get into that. We know who doing the leaving, but even if they were fearful that he's going to leave me, okay, that's alimony. That's alimony like a motherfucker. If she was truly a housewife, and he was making at least 80,000, she's getting alimony and child support. And women, because I know this personally from when I was married. When I was married many moons ago, I know how, like, I was working a lot of hours, and she was working sporadically and going to school. But even if she was on just, and it was some times when she wasn't working and she was taking classes. So I mean, it was, oddly enough, by the time we were getting a divorce, she had put herself in technically in a better position, damn near, you know, because she was able, you know, she was like, you know, maybe 4 credits away from a bachelor's degree by the time we got a divorce. So I mean, they gonna be in a decent situation. I mean, it is some truth in that after a divorce, you know, a lot of times after a divorce, both people, this is a not discussed enough thing. I'll grant you that after a divorce, sometimes both of them end up, you know, financially not quite right. You know, if they had bills that was based on 2 incomes, or it was 1 income and now one person without an income, and now his income getting split over there, and then, you know, his child support and alimony is going over there, but you know, it could end up a situation where they both could end up not quite right. But at the end of the day, I don't think that's the biggest problem. I don't think that's the biggest problem at all, that they're fearful that he's going to leave me. The laws are set up just so to hedge against that. To hedge against that.
It's also just a lot of women, they might not say this, but a lot of women have a distrust of men. Now, where it comes from, that's another discussion, but it's definitely there.
They have a distrust of men. I think I mean, again, this is where the blue pill comes in. Because you're it's blue pill to buy into that. I don't trust these men. I just don't trust them. Where when I look at women, I see a lot of them. Other than the times when they just get emotionally wrapped up into it. If a woman gets emotionally wrapped up into a dude, where he just the first thing she think about when she wake up, and if she's that guy, if he's that dude for her, then we can kind of throw that out the window. What I'm about to say, but other than that, other than if they're talking about a guy who's just that dude for them, and they just love being with him and love being around him and love everything about him, just love his dirty draws. Unless we're talking about that situation, women tend to be very calculated in the things that they do when they're dealing with men. They're they're not making this like I don't trust that he's going to do right. No, they're coming in fully armored and ready, trying to figure out how they're going to come up, how they're going to benefit. How does this guy going to benefit me? How is he going to add to my life in some kind of way? I mean, a lot of times they make a decision to get married based off a calculation. They're thinking they're thinking business. They're thinking about that contract. They're thinking about all kind of stuff. So to say that they're just tiptoeing on eggshells around, I have a hard time trusting that he's going to be this or that. It's like, no, I think it's the men who got to look at them like, I don't know if I could trust her. I mean, yeah, even if put it like this, even if they meet and they both, let's just say he's making 50,000 and she making 40,000, if all his dreams come true and he start making 120,000, okay, what is that going to do to her mindset? Is she going to, is that going to change? Is that going to change her? Is that going to make her likely to say, okay, we've acquired all this stuff, we've built all this stuff up, we've had these kids. Right now, I can do the math on what child support is going to be, what alimony will be, with this or that, Hey, I can go be free, So I think the guy is the one that got to be making trust calculations on what's potentially going to happen later in this situation. Like because if a woman isn't coming through on some, I'm a wife, I'm trying to be a wife, I want to be all I could be in this marriage. If she's not coming through on that shit, she's more than likely going to be on some, constantly making the calculation about how good is this deal. How good is this deal, and will it be a better deal, or will it be just more beneficial in my life if I, separate it from this dude? So I don't buy the notion, the idea that they're just having that many trust issues. I don't necessarily buy that. But I think another super chat came through. Hold on, wait. Lord Love Smith says the freedom to be nothing is both very appealing. Hold on. The freedom to be nothing is both very appealing and attractive to Black women. So marriage and family is on the back burner for Black women. Yeah, I do think the freedom. I think that freedom element is a big one. I don't know if it's the I don't think it's the trust thing. But hold on. Nate Dogg 74 is in the building. Says on Kevin Samuels' show, they all want to housewives. What he's saying is nonsense. Kevin Samuels' show, they all want to be housewives. What he's saying is nonsense.
Well, yeah, they want to be housewives. That's what they want. But when it comes time to actually pull the trigger on making it happen, do they actually do that? And the answer would be no, because over 70% are not married.
E. Taylor says, I can't stand to hear Black men talking that color purple crap.
I didn't even say nothing about the color purple. All I said was, yeah.
I know, but when you say the trust issues, I mean, it does sort of allude to that in the sense that they're still operating under the assumption that men, or in this case, Black men, are these are essentially the boogeyman, that I can't trust. I can't trust them. I can't trust them. But I don't know. I see women in a lot of situations. They're moving like, they're the sharks in the water seeing blood a lot of times when they see that guy, a guy with a certain amount of money. So I can't look at them as little damsels in distress. The only times where there are times where they do end up like that. But again, I said, if they end up in a situation where they just got emotionally wrapped up with a particular dude, then that guy, has power over her in that situation until her very volatile, erratic emotions change. That's more or less the situation right there. That's more or less the situation right there. But and this okay, what you're saying, more or less, it reeks of trying to basically it reeks of trying to make an excuse for women. It
No, I'm not
basically
making an
reeks.
excuse for them. I'm just saying, like, I don't think we really take the time to consider why certain things happen. Like, there's a lot of nuanced reasons for a lot of different things. Like, I'm not even necessarily saying that these women have a legitimate reason to be fearful or to distrust. I'm just saying that it's there. Whether it's a valid reason for it or not, it's still there.
I
It's
know,
still
but
something to deal with.
when we can see, like, put it like this, when we can see that they're making decisions in a certain type of way, like when we can clearly see that, like there's I hate to use YouTube channels as an example, but there's whole YouTube channels that are essentially dedicated. This chick, I forgot, Sheila something. I forgot her exact name, but all she do is post comments that videos she find all over the internet of women basically explaining why they don't want to get married, why this is bad, why you should stay single, why that, like we can see culturally, what's going on. Like we can see culturally what's going on, that we just do have a generation of women who, conduct themselves in a way to where they don't want it. And, part of me is like, whatever, that's fine. Where I come in on this is when they try to blame men, that's when I come in, and like I said, got to pull the mask off the real Scooby-Doo villain, is when they try to blame men for all the stuff that, if you listen to them talk quite often, they will triumphantly explain why they're moving the way that they're moving. And then that's where it turns into some blue pill pandering to say, oh no, well they're just fearful of this, or they're just fearful of that. And it's like, no, man, they telling you what they about, so
Some
that's
women,
where,
but y'all generalize a lot though.
everybody generalizes, but I've never said all. And in some cases, put it like this, sometimes I say some, sometimes I say the majority, sometimes I say most. And then sometimes, even if it's not the majority, if it's still just a higher number than what we should be comfortable with, I still will point that out. Like, the majority of women don't get violent towards men, but it's still a higher number than what we should be comfortable with, So I break it down like that. But no, I'm not with the hardcore just trying to just hit with a broad brush, unless the data more or less shows that is the case. Then I will go ahead and hit with that broad brush. But all right, let's hold on, wait. 70% of people doing something, but don't generalize. Yeah.
So that's
Exactly.
what I'm saying. That number's way too high.
You don't even know what he's talking about.
I can assume it's going to be too high.
You don't even know what particular thing or attribute he's referring to, but you say whatever he's talking about, it's too high. It's too high. You don't even know what he's referring to.
I know what the general talking points are, and I know, like, y'all give the 70-80% number a lot. I'm like, nah, that's too high.
Okay. Nate Dogg 74 says more than half of domestic violence is initiated by women. Yeah, but that still doesn't mean that half of women are domestically violent. You know, I be pulling out the stats all the time. In 84% of relationships, there's no violence. It's only in like 16% of them there is violence. But when you break down that's once you take that 16% and then make it a whole, yeah, women are violent in more of those, in more of that than men. Put it like that. I'll just say that much. They are more violent in relationships than men. Tomcat in the building with the $10 super chat says, our women don't want to be feminine, so they drop out. It's just that simple. That is an aspect of it. And thank you, Tomcat, because we about to build on that super chat. Well, hold on. Make sure. Okay, that one is already starred. Cool. Ask him, what is he referring to? 70%, 70 or 80% to what? No, SKC said 70%, and then he said that's too high. But CJ didn't even know what he was talking about. So I can't. So I don't know. We may come back to that, but I want to deal with this because this is one of the things that this space is talking about a lot, about Black women not being feminine, and I think you've had some disagreement with that. So go ahead and voice your disagreement on that one.
Well, it's undeniable that there's definitely a lack of femininity in certain pockets of Black America. That's undeniable. My only disagreement is the percentages. Like, well, let's start with it. What percentage would you say of Black women lack femininity?
I hate putting numbers on that one. I hate putting numbers on that one because the percentage that's okay, there's a percentage that's like an aggressive type of masculine, and I mean that sort of, you know, aggressive type of masculine, that could be over 50%, but then the number could get up to, the number can get to high as 80 to 90% when you take into account that there's women like, hell, BGS and Ed just did a reaction video to some chicks that was on the Lapeef network. Now, nothing was, aggressively masculine about this chick.
Oh, no, that's one that she get real aggressive.
No. This particular chick, this wasn't a regular on Lapeef.
Oh.
I'd never seen her before, but she was dressed nice. She was sitting up nice and cute and punctual and had a nice little speaking voice. She speaks so well. Like they used to, like that Chris Rock joke they used to say about Colin Powell. He speaks so well. So yeah, this chick, yeah, she spoke so well, and was very articulate and studious sounding, and she very, very dark skinned, but nice, real clear skin, natural hair. She looked like exactly like what I liked. To tell you, keeping it real, but but yeah. So she's sitting there, and I think she meant well. But when she started talking, everything that she described, it wasn't that aggressive type of masculine. It was more like that. She was ideologically masculine, if you understand what I'm saying. She was like talking from the perspective of, wanting a partner, not wanting to be a wife, wanting a partner, wanting to, basically, the career woman, she got her job and she got her goals and she got her this and she got her that, and she wants that man to basically the type of man, and BGS did a good job breaking it down. The type of man that actually would be suitable for that is a man who actually is not as career driven and will be supportive of her dreams, but she don't want that. She don't want that. No, she want a career driven man who would actually like a soft, supportive woman. But she's not that soft, supportive woman. She's also a go-getter, and she needs for she wants that go-getter of a man to like her little man behaviors as well. Because basically, even though she spoke so well and she said all the right things, when you really break down what she was and how she was talking and everything she was describing, I mean, it's really not that much different than, I mean, it's spoken in good language, but she might as well have just said, look, I'm a boss bitch. And you're gonna have to know how to deal with a boss bitch. She basically took that and painted a bunch of crystalline kerosene sounding language over it, but it's essentially the same thing. So even though this woman doesn't present masculine, ideologically, yeah, complex, she's a little manlet. Ideologically, she's accepted forms of feminism to the point to where she basically she's basically operating like a man, to the point to where the type of masculine man that she wants, is not going to want her. So when you say put a percentage on it, some people wouldn't say that chick was masculine because she didn't present masculine, but up here she was. So when you break that down, that's how it could get from all the way up to 90% of them, because when you insert that feminist ideology into it, when you average that into the equation, yeah, it gets up to 90% to me.
Okay, I'm gonna let you guys know now. This y'all.
All right, hold on.
I'm probably gonna go in when I say this, but hey,
all right, let me just go ahead and play this in advance. Hold on.
It was he who.
All right, go ahead. You got your cape on, ready to go. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, I got it on. All right.
All right.
What I'm gonna say is this: I feel as though I'm not even going to disagree with what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
But what I think a lot of what's going on is a lot of women have what I would call a suppressed femininity, meaning they have femininity in them, but they were taught certain things. Like a lot of women were taught, like, oh, you gotta take care of yourself, you can't rely on no man, and not just from their mothers. A lot of fathers also taught them this as well, and so a lot of them, they come with the career and I can do this and I can do that, but and this is where Keisha just needs a little coaching comes in. Hold on.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Wait. Hold on. I was trying to get down to the bottom of this. That statement that I hear everybody saying in this space, that Keisha just needs some coaching, is that your original quote?
Yeah. It's funny, but it's like a serious thing as well. Because I don't think we really think about like the level of single parenthood in our community is going to have some negative impacts. So there's going to be some women who did not get the proper training, and so they're going. Sometimes you got to coach them up. Sometimes, if she's coachable,
Well, put it like this: the chick that I was describing, she's somebody who fits into categorically what you're talking about, I think.
Yeah, like I think it's a decent amount of women who, just with a little bit of guidance, they could get on track.
No, I'll reach across the aisle. I'll reach across the aisle and say this: the chick that I was describing, who I said, she presented very feminine. She spoke very, soft and delicate. She had the right look and everything. She looked to be in really, really good shape. I mean, truthfully, just in a snapshot, she looked fit, feminine, and friendly. But she ideologically had some bullshit in her head. So I think those ones like that.
You just need a good training camp.
Those ones like that probably just, probably can be talked out of some of their bullshit.
See,
like
if
they're no, the hell we don't. But if they actually believe that them getting an education and getting a good job is going to make them more attractive to a man who got his education and a good job, that's not, if they believe that because feminism taught them that, they could be taught that was some bullshit. I agree. This is a part where the Keisha just needs some coaching goes completely out the window. There's a percentage of women who are just out of pocket. I think is baked into the cake. I think it's hardwired into them. I think that it will take a lot of cultural programming at birth to get that damn near out of them. I don't think it's no late game coaching at 35 that's going to get that out of them. I think to some of them, they are what they are. And if you're that guy who wants to deal with their shit, then go ahead and be my guest. Sign up to have your balls cut off every day.
I actually agree with you on that. There are some that they, some people just got to get cut from the team. Some people wash out the league.
I know, but those that wash out, here's the issue. The issue is you think those that need to get washed out the league is a really, really low number.
Not alone. I would say probably 30%.
About 30%. So 70% of them fall in the and Keith, you just need a little coaching category.
Yeah, varying levels of coaching. Some a little bit, some they might need a little couple of
Put
mini
it-
camps.
Oh man, this is classic. This is classic. All right,
It's
here's the
kind of, I
deal.
look at it like Randy Moss. He was one way in Oakland, but he was different way in New England.
Yeah, on a 1-year contract. That's what you just described is the equivalent of a masculine chick who gets a good deal from the right dude, and she's like, "Ooh, I gotta sit up straight. I gotta cross my legs and chew with my mouth closed." And then she can act right for a little bit, but she can't hold that feminine. She can't maintain a feminine frame for that long. Eventually it's gonna crack, it's gonna break, and she's gonna be exactly who the hell she is. It comes out. It
Well, then
comes
she
out.
part of the 30%. Then
I know, but yeah, I think
you think it's higher than that?
Let me explain it like this. I try to break it down scientifically, and this is where it can get a little dark when I start breaking it down in this way. Shout out to Tomcat. I see that super chat. I'll get to it in a second. It gets a little dark when I break it down this way. From a scientific standpoint, black people do have more testosterone. And I talked about this with Alan Obi. Black people do have more testosterone than other people. High testosterone looks good on a man. That's a good thing. But genetics don't work like that. If the men have higher testosterone than the other men, then the women are going to have higher testosterone than other women. So we're talking about a group of women who are high in testosterone. So they're going to be more aggressive. They're going to be more masculine. The only thing that I can say that there are some guys who are willing to take on that challenge. I'm a masculine man, and this masculine, aggressive, combative bitch, I can out aggressive her. And I think that lends itself to a relationship where two people are fighting because it's damn near two niggas in a relationship. So it ends up being like that. So somebody who got a nice, cool, laid back, even temperament like me or like you end up with one of those more masculine, aggressive women. No, it just is not going to work. We are temperamentally two different things, and that's where I've heard some hood niggas say, "Oh, well, you can't handle that bitch," but I understood where he was coming from because he's that dude. He's that dude who will bark her down. Now, I got no problem like if I'm dealing with a woman and I gotta correct her and I gotta say some shit to her and I gotta get her to fall back and sit her ass down and shut up, I got no problem doing that. But when she fall back, sit her ass down and shut up, that thing that I corrected her on, I don't expect to see it no more. But with them out of pocket combative chicks, you could correct them on that shit on Monday. It might hold them to Wednesday. They're gonna be right back at that shit. And you're gonna be right back having to do the same shit again over and over again. And that just lend to a relationship where y'all just gonna be in that y'all just gonna be in there fighting and arguing all day. And then the dude leave because he ain't trying to deal with her shit. So I mean that's what ends up happening when you start talking about a chick being masculine. If you start talking about a chick being masculine, no, she's in a situation where she's competitive, she's combative, she's ready to fight. It's like turn into a damn Cleon, that damn Cleon relationship. It's like where it's like no, it turned into some bullshit that most men don't want to deal with. But even if you get to the point where you ain't even dealing with those types no more, then you may deal with some that they ain't as aggressively masculine, but they got that feminist ideology type of masculine where they want to be equal to you. They want to be partners with you. They want to be this, they want that. We're on the same playing field and I don't have to yield to your authority and I can, and blah, 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 blah. And so then you end up with that shit. So it's all, it ends up a situation where it can be all around bad to where just, a smaller window of black women are suitable for the type of men that they want, especially when they start wanting the right things. Now, when they're younger, the type of guy that they want to, when they live in that casual sex life, the type of guy that they want, he's good with them operating like that. These ain't real relationships. These just people just getting together, having sex for a period of time. And that situation, is cool. But if you actually trying to be in something long term with one of them chicks, no, that's gonna be a problem. That's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, like for example, like a woman that I would say, in my opinion, based upon what I've seen, would be like a part of the 30% that just you just gotta cut them off the team. Like I would say the girl Kayla who's on Lapifa a lot. I wouldn't even bother. Just
K
from what
or
I've seen
Kayla.
on there, like too far gone.
Yeah, K. I think K is the craziest, but Kayla is like,
The wildest.
yeah. I mean, I don't watch Lapeef as much as I should. I should be watching that a little more, but yeah, my understanding of it is that yeah, K and Kayla be wilding. And I think
But
Kay and Kayla be wilding so hard that people think Courtney Michelle is like the prototype standing next to their ass.
but see,
But I'm
what
like,
I'm saying is,
but
I think
Hold on. But Courtney Michelle be saying some sisterhood stuff too, but she be looking like a little feminine damsel next to their masculine asses. But anyway,
but what I'm saying, like Courtney is the type that, like, yeah, that's that you could win right there with that one right there, in my opinion.
okay, so Courtney Michelle is your Keisha needs some coaching type.
I wouldn't
That's
even
who.
say she needs coaching. I think she ready to start. You know, she could be team captain. She ready.
Team captain.
Yeah, she ready.
Okay, so if she's the captain, she's the captain of that team. What are you?
I'm the coach.
Okay. I thought you were. I thought you placed her above you, like she's
Oh
team
no,
captain,
no, we ain't doing that.
and you the sixth man coming off the bench. I thought that's what it was.
No, we
All
ain't
right,
doing that.
Lord Love Smith in the building. He says the freedom to be nothing is. Oh, wait, I already read that one. Shout out to you, appreciate that. Tomcat back in the building. Tomcat back in the building says our women don't want to be feminine, so they drop out. It's just simple. I think I may have read that one already. So hold on, let me get hold on, wait, read that one. I got a system. Not even Phil Jackson could get Keisha in order. No thanks.
I don't know. Phil Jackson held Dennis Rodman in line.
Yeah, he
so,
did.
you know.
He did. Phil Jackson is that dude. Tomcat in the building says anything you can do, I can do better is on steroids in B-dubs. Absolutely. Thank you for that super chat, Tomcat. I do appreciate that. So said, why is he here, dog? He's here to give pushback. We get it. We get it wrong. So he's here to try to right the ship. That's what CJ is here to do. He's here to try to right the ship. He's gonna face the firing squad real soon when I open this up. But there I said in the building says Keisha needs some coaching. Who will be doing the coaching? Coacher opposes a black man's authority. Thank you for the super chat. Do appreciate that. Talk to me on that, because this is where I think you put a cape on hella tough as well. That video, just based off the title, the average man is not enough. What you talking about there?
Oh well, on that one, I was basically just talking about like statistics. Well, not even statistics. I was just basically talking about like what's the norm these days, and like in today's society, the norm is not in greatest shape, not making a whole lot of money, not really, don't really have like a spiritual foundation. And I was just saying like that's not enough.
Okay, so you're saying the average man is not in very good shape, and I can kind of dispute that. I don't know. I forgot exactly. If you look at the average height and weight of what an average man is in America, I think it's something like 5'10", 190 pounds. Like that's not exactly bad. Like, I think I mean, that could either be a little pudgy, or that could be, a little, little stocky, little, some muscular man meat on you. That was, don't clip me. But so no, I don't think you can just outright say the average man is out of shape. So, but you said the average man not making that much money. That what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm saying like the average salary.
Okay, so but why would that be a problem for the average woman? If we accept that she's average, if we accept that she's average looking, and the average, height and weight for a black woman, I think is like something like 5'4". Even though somebody said the stats may change on that, they may have lost some weight, which is good. Which is good. Shout out to them if they getting the message. But but so I haven't looked into some supposedly recent data that shows that they have lost some weight. But if the average height for a black woman is something like 5'3", I think 184, 187 or something like that. How is come on?
Whoa, what is he talking about?
No, because I said when I was saying that 5'10", 190 is not necessarily fat on a man, I was saying it could be, just some muscular muscular man meat. But I
Oh, I
said,
missed that
don't.
one.
I
was like,
said
whoa,
I
what is he
said that's why I
saying?
was like, oh, don't clip me on that. Don't clip me on that. But yeah. So what I'm saying is, if she's average looking, if she's 5'4", if she's 180 pounds, like I'm sitting here looking at it like, how is this average guy got not enough for her, or not good enough for her?
I'm
Like
not saying he's not good enough for
be,
her, but the average
especially
guy
with
doesn't want her though. He's not trying to get with her. He's trying to get with
bullshit.
something.
Bullshit. Men fuck down. We know that.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like in terms of like a relationship or like a potential wife. He's not trying to get with her on serious tip.
Bullshit. If the average, I will guarantee you the average guy is wants the average woman. That can't be denied. A guy, when it comes to casual sex, yeah, he will go down 2 points. If he's a 5, he will fuck 3s. But if he will accept that relationship from a 5 all damn day. All damn day. Like it ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Like I don't know how you deduce that. Like dudes are out here just shooting above their weight. Only time a guy can successfully shoot above his weight class like that is if he, become really successful in making good money. Then he can kind of, bump up to another level. But that does technically become his level because women value a man that makes money. So if he's physically a 5, but economically, he's a 7 or an 8, yeah, he probably can pull a 6 or a 7, maybe. So yeah, in that situation, a guy can come up economic wise, but I'm talking about just a regular degular dude in the middle, making regular money in the middle, about 50K. He's a construction worker, he's an assembly line worker, he's the damn garbage man or whatever the hell. That regular ass dude will accept a regular ass chick unless he's that regular dude, but he has a lot of what Edward Anderson calls that genetic currency. Like he's tall and he's good looking, and then he could barter and trade with that and get a badder chick than what his money would buy. But that game kind of wears out, after so long. You only could be out there living off that for so long. But overall, it is one of the worst straw man. That's a straw man argument from hell when they try to pretend as if the problem is that the average guy don't want the average chick, but really it's the woman who's deluded, because if she's a 5 and I mean she's regularly fucking 7s who are willing to fuck down to that 5, and then she get it diluted in her head that that's her level, so she's expecting the guy to be on 7 level, probably looks and economically, for her to accept the relationship because she's able to get dick from him. Therefore she don't respect that guy who's a 5 who's actually on her level. So you can't put it off on the guy who's a 5 who's fucking 3s on a regular, that he won't accept that 5. That's bullshit, and you know it. Come on, man. That's where you start blue pill pandering and cave.
It was he who.
All right, go ahead.
I'm not saying that guys is trying to get a 9 or a dime or nothing like that, but what I'm saying is most dudes, unless they just like really big and really ain't got nothing going on, most dudes want a decent looking woman.
But willing to accept and settle, like the architect said in the Matrix. There are levels of when Neo was like, you can't kill us, you can't survive without us, and he was like, there's levels of survival we are willing to accept. That's how men are when it comes to the dating market. There are levels that they are willing to accept. Men make concessions, Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts. Holy shit, what is that? There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Thank you, Jackie Jack, for the $2 super chat. Thank you for that. Fives are normal. Decent is a 6. Yeah. Niggas know their role. They'll take two fives and make it 10 all day. All damn day. Yeah, dudes can talk tough about what they want, but overall, what dudes will accept out there is a completely different thing. You know. So I don't know where I don't know where you gather that from. That the problem is that dudes are not accepting what's regular. So when you going back to the title of your video that I didn't watch, when you said average isn't enough, I'm just trying to get my mind wrapped around and understand.
I'm talking about like, because most guys want a fit, feminine, friendly woman, right?
Yeah, well, okay. Being feminine and friendly should definitely come standard, and I think being fit. Okay, when we talk about being fit, we just talking about not being fat as fuck. You know, be in decent shape. But even then, that don't say nothing about looks. You know, she could still be facially average. Even if the guy is average and she's facially average, if he's a working man, he's a construction worker that makes 50K, he should require her to, you know, she should have to be feminine. She should have to be friendly and pleasant to be around. Men bend on that fit part all the time, but her simply being fit, the daunting task of being fit, I don't think, you know, that doesn't mean he's looking for a 7, 8, 9, or 10 if he understands that he's average his damn self.
Well, I think they look at I think, well, let me see. If I'm being, I think most guys would take a 6, but I don't think they want to go lower than that.
Don't want to, but they do. And what Uneducated Lame is saying, I'll take thick, feminine, and friendly all damn day.
Yeah, twice on Sunday.
I mean that's my lane right there. Keeping it real.
For sure.
that's where I'm at all day. I mean, I've shown, hey, I know what I like. I've shown pictures. So yeah, I know what I like. So yeah, so I take that all day. That's where most dudes are at with it. So to try to make it seem like the dating market is upside down because dudes are holding out until they get the dreamboat chick.
Well, I'm not saying that's why it's upside down. I'm just
all
saying.
Right. So then, what's the point of even making that point that dudes are the ones that are holding out when we know dudes are taking bad deals on a regular?
Oh no, I didn't say guys were holding. Like in the video, I didn't say guys were holding out. I was simply saying that there's room for improvement if you want certain results. That's all.
Okay, but everybody can agree with that. Like if a dude is average at best and he's saying he's only going to accept a woman who's one, fit, feminine, friendly, and facially a 7, then yeah, everybody's response with that universally would be, hey, if you want that, you need to get your money up. That's just flat out. Nobody would deny that, male or female. That is if you want that result, you got to get your money up. But the cape comes in is when you try to pretend, when you're basically saying that average guy is not enough, but you're saying you don't define what is it that he's not enough for. We're left to assume that you're basically saying he's not enough for the average woman, which means that you're saying that average woman deserves an above average man, which means you're putting a cape on for their inadequacy and saying that we need to be over adequate to meet their standards that don't line up with where they're at. That's what it comes off as, and that's how that's where you just turn into a big cuddly panda bear.
Well, there's 2 points on that. The first point would be, how do I put this? I'm looking for the right words. So like the average, well, this is how I put it. Do you think that the like the regular contract between men and women, do you think that because of where we are these days that there's more requirements on men than there were in the past? Like as women can do more things, are more things required of man in order to attract the woman?
Yeah, that's technically true. That's technically true, but again, it creates an upside down world. It creates an upside down world where if you're saying that because let me break it down like I broke it down before. A guy working a job, he has a house, he has an address. He can provide, running water, electricity, food on the table. There was a time when that was enough. But now the world is set up to where even if a woman isn't working a job, she still can, through government assistance, can get running water, electricity, water, heat, electricity, roof over her head, food on the table. She can get that without him. So his role has become null and void. So now that woman who can do that bare minimum by hook or crook is saying, nope, for me to let you in, you have to be even more than what you were, what you were. You got to be all, you do got to be all that, but now I need you to be a certain height. Now I need you to, to have a certain amount of swag, a certain amount of, you got to look a certain way, you got to dress a certain way, you got to walk a certain way. You got to be more willing to tolerate my bullshit. You got to be less controlling or authoritative. You gotta give more and expect less, because the thing that you traditionally have brought to the table, I don't need that from you no more. So again, that puts men in a perpetual state of accepting a lesser deal, and it puts women in a perpetual state of not having to essentially be better when men are accepting that lesser deal. So it's not it sounds like you're saying that because they can go and make their own 40K in some air conditioned cubicle somewhere, that now men need to jump higher. Basically, the women are saying jump, and and men are supposed to say how high. Okay, now what happens when men jump that high? What happens when that woman who makes her average close to 40K, and then the men, let's say the men average income, they say jump, we say how high, we jump that high, and then now we're making 70K. All right, we're making on average 70K across the board. Then what happens? Now there's a huge wage gap between men and women, and then now guess what? They're going to fight, they're going to lobby, they're going to burn bras in the streets, they're going to do everything they did before to make sure they bring that down, not bring that wage gap down, but make sure they get their wages up as close as they possibly can, and then now that 70K that to their 40K, that was, yes, now you're making enough to provide. Now that 70K ain't enough to provide no more, because why? I make that 70K now. So because I'm making that 70K now your 70K ain't shit. So nigga, go make 100K. And then once he do that again, and now another wage gap has been created, so it's going to be a perpetual state. Like, that's what happens when you flip the natural biology of how male and female work, how masculine and feminine work. When you try to give women the ability to make it in masculine man world, and then when they start making it, everything goes to shit. And we've seen that in so many different countries. Marriage rate goes down, single mother rate goes up, the birth rate goes down, everything gets flipped upside down. So if you think the solution is men just need to jump higher, then okay, then you're advocating for that guy to raise himself up to be a 7 to get the respect of a 5. That's what you're advocating for.
Oh, no, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is simply that when the conditions in society improve overall, then everybody's expectations and what they will accept in a partner also goes up. And
Give me an example.
So, like, for example, like, let's see. I'm trying to give a male example.
Mm-hmm. So no. Give me an example of what women expect and how it go up.
Oh, so there was a time where you could just go to work and bring home your check and sit in your chair. You didn't really have to do a whole lot of talking or any housework or anything like that at all.
Yeah, I mean, she was at home, so of course he wasn't doing any housework.
Yeah, but see, but now that's not the case in a lot of situations. Now you gotta be more in touch with communication and all that kind of stuff, and be more romantic, and it's a lot of it adds to it over time.
So you're saying now because women work and make money, and not as much as men, but close to the amount of money that men make, now men need to do a better job at being romantic. Like that would solve the problem. More romantic niggas who bring more flowers on the first date and buy more chocolates. You saying that's gonna
Well,
fix
no,
the
not
problem?
flowers and chocolates, but wait, basically what I'm saying is, would you agree that a woman wants a man who's better than her?
Of course.
So with the more women can do, the more it's going to take for you to be able to say that you're better. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
See,
But
we agree a lot today.
no bullshit. If society pushes for women to be just as competitive and successful as men, then society is pushing for a relationship circumstance or agreement that doesn't line up with biology. I go back to the chick that BGS was talking about earlier today, that was basically saying she wants a partner. She wants a partner. And what that ultimately results to, when all is said and done, is that that woman is going to, when she fails at getting the master of the universe guy that she's looking for, and she ends up with a regular dude with a job, she's not going to respect him, because the world has been made so easy to where she can work in an air conditioned cubicle and make the same amount of money as him. So when you do that, and you infuse feminist ideology into their mind, you basically create a world that essentially just is not going to work. In order for women to get their hypergamous itch scratched, a guy got to make, I think some people have done the calculations on it, and I'm not even talking about manosphere people, other people, people who study this shit for a living. I don't even know what to call them, but they've done the calculation that women like a guy that makes at least 30% more than them. So like if that's what it takes to get their hypergamous itch scratched, then statistically it's going to be a lot of women left dancing when the music stops. It just is what it is. Somebody's saying 2 times more. I mean, it's different studies, but anyway, I don't know. But so yeah, if that is basically, feminism has flipped everything upside down. That's why women filing all these damn divorces and the whole works. But Tomcat in the building says, and after all this modification, guess who is coming to dinner with guys now? Mingling, Lupe, and Becky. Ain't nobody going to put up with all this madness. Now, all right. I'm about to open this bad boy up. You're gonna face the firing squad. You are, you be talking a lot of cash shit in the chat room sometimes, but you're trying to be a little more diplomatic in the middle right now. You ain't trying to come
Workout with
as,
Wayne obviously can't. Okay, no, go ahead.
what'd you say?
I was looking at a comment from Workout with Wayne. I'm like,
Let's look at it.
Maybe he can't read or something. I don't know.
He said he doesn't have one video over 1K views. Why does that matter?
That's not it. That's not even true.
I mean,
it's
false. It's false, but why does that matter? I don't care about that. I care either he's making sense or he's not making sense. He's either making sense or he's not making sense. I'm not getting bogged down on how many views the man got. That's petty. That's petty. Either he's making sense or he's not making sense. So the link is in the chat. The link is in the chat for anybody who wants to come on up. Again, I appreciate everybody who's been supporting the stream. I'm going back to your channel as we wait for people to come up. You said, what does winning look like for red pill men? Go ahead and speak on what were you talking about in that video?
Oh, I was responding to a BGS did a video basically saying like they had won the YouTube gender war. And I was just like, well, what exactly does winning look like? Like, are we
He
talking
described
about
it.
Yeah,
He
but I was just like,
he literally described it in the video, so you don't gotta ask what does winning look like.
no, because my point was just like, is that all you wanted? That's all. It was like a short little conversation.
So you were saying, okay, so explain to me what did you interpret him when you say, is that all you wanted? When you say
Basically, I was
go
saying
ahead.
that like, well, I guess we got two different versions of winning, probably. Like to me, like winning a gender war would mean that like terms and conditions on what you wanted in relationships have been agreed upon. That's for the most part.
Yeah, he was defining the gender war in terms of essentially, did you effectively get the message out? Have we effectively communicated where we're at with it, our position, and has it gotten out there? And I think that's an obvious yes. You look at the success of Kevin Samuels shows and so many other shows sprinkled all over, and how the red pill have seeped over into pretty much everything. Is red pill is seeping over into the church, it's seeping over into the pro-black sector,
Oh no
it's
no no no
seeping
no
over
not,
into
not
the
into the church.
nah, okay, all right, I ain't about to go there. But because if freaking TD Jakes, I mean, some people have argued that he's been saying stuff like that. I really don't care. I just know that's my first time hearing him say it. But it's seeping over into every other form of media where people got to deal with it, and it's stirring the pot of the conversation. So the fact of the matter is, it's been put out there heavy. It's been put out there big time. The thoughts, views, perspective of men, and not to mention the vast majority of the arguments that women have made against black men. That shit has been debunked, refuted, and disputed on a major. Damn, you got that background. Debunked, disputed, and refuted on a major stage, on a major platform. It's been out there tough, and it's been out there heavy, and the world has seen it. So, and now it's to the point to where its channel is not even associated with the Manosphere, that is using all the same talking points, all the same ideas. It basically it affects every conversation. It literally affects every conversation, to the point where it's like you can't even talk about a lot of these issues. You can't even talk about a lot of these issues without simply acknowledging that elephant in the room of the impact that the Black Manosphere has ultimately made. So in that sense, he's saying that's what he defined as victory. That's so, I can agree with him on that, but there is a such thing as results in real life, the real life the real life gender war. So you can't, so that's a whole separate thing from YouTube. The
And that's what I was
YouTube
mainly
talking
speaking
points
on.
gender war. But that's doing a bait and switch from what he said and how he defined it. But all right, so
Yeah, I would say we got about 60% agreement so far today. See, this is real
okay,
good.
that is bullshit.
That's too high, you don't think? Well, 50-50?
Hell no.
What?
Hell no. Like, come on.
All right, 40%.
Barely 10, man. Barely 10. Barely 10. Don't try to. I see your strategy to try to hover in the middle, to try to come up with some kind of I see what you're doing. I see you soft shoeing. I
Oh
should,
no, we're just having a
you know what I should have
conversation. That's
did.
all.
You know what I should have did, because I thought about doing this. I was like, I need to go watch like 5 or 10 10 of his videos and write down exactly what he said, and then pin you to the wall on that shit. But anyway, but I said, no, I'm gonna come in peace and just had a conversation. But no. But let's go ahead, SKC. Let's go ahead, SKC. You got the floor. You got the mic.
Hey, what's going on, CJ?
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, what's going on, man? Man, I think I don't have a whole bunch of smoke and stuff for you. People are gonna choose whatever they're gonna choose to do. You brought up the thing about the percentages though earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Eh, and what I was quoting from was when you stated that 70% of the children are a product of single mother households. How can we not generalize if we know that such a great percentage makes up the whole.
Well, generalize in what aspect?
Well, we see that 70% of the pie is, is as such. Why would it not make sense to make general statements when you know the percentage?
Well, it's a complicated thing because yes, that's a true statement, but how does then we have to talk about how does that translate to like because if we're talking about women, we have to say, well, what percentage of women are single moms? And I
Well,
don't know
I
that
could.
percentage.
Well, that's not what I'm stating at all. All I can say is that a percentage of, for those who believe in the community, 70% of the future of your community comes from single mother led households.
I agree with you on that, and that's not a good thing at all. So we agree
Right.
there.
Right. So why would it be wrong to make general statements on that then?
No, I'm saying it would be wrong to assess a certain amount of blame to one side of the community.
Well,
That's all I'm saying. Because what we'll do is we'll say, well, 70-80% of the women got to get it together, but only 20% of the men got a problem. I'm just like, how does that
can I
make
jump in
sense?
here right quick? Because the reason why you can assess that level of blame to the women when you point out that most of them are single mothers is because most of them are the ones initiating the breakups that cause them to be single mothers. So when we talk about single motherhood, we're not just talking about it as if they're being left victims and just sitting at home and a man went to the store and never came back. In modern day, these women are breaking up with their baby daddies. They're breaking up with their husbands. They're breaking up even before the pregnancy is over. So that's how you can put the blame on them because they're the ones choosing and making the active decision to become a single mother and put the community in the situation we're in.
All right. So my question would be this: these women who don't prioritize family and who will break up the family and choose to be a single mom. Why did that man pick that woman?
Well, the thing about this is the reason why he picked the women for the same reason you're up here saying save the community. He was trying to save the community. Now, you don't know what a woman's going to do until she does it. You're acting as
I
if these
disagree
women.
with that.
No, you don't.
Hold on,
See,
wait,
you
Clarence.
don't.
Hold on, wait. I got a better answer for that. Because when you say, well, why did he pick that woman? He probably was blue pill. He probably believed a lot of the stuff that you say on your channel.
Listen
That
to
hey, if
you.
you're just a decent dude and you just show up and you're nice to her and you're respectful and you treat her right and you got a job and you don't stink, then she's just gonna love you and reciprocate and treat you
I
right,
mean,
and that's
But
all
what
you
I'm
got to
saying
do.
is, it's still a certain type of woman.
He probably believed he probably believed all the shit you say on your channel. That's probably why.
We
I also
can't
talk
sit here.
about
We
vetting
can,
as well, though.
bro. We can't sit up here and say that 70% of the women are 70% of the kids are being raised by single mothers who chose to be single mothers, and then you come up here and say, "Well, it's only a certain type." If it's 70%, that's not just a certain type.
Well,
That's not a small number.
that's not a true statement you just
That
made,
is a
though.
true statement. 80% of divorces are initiated by women. Most
But hold
breakups
on, though. But all single mothers weren't married, though.
never
So
said all that.
you're saying in 100% of those situations, the woman broke up with the man?
No, we just said 80. That's math. Okay, if I would have said 100, I would have said 100, but I just said 80% of divorces are initiated by women. The same
But
percentages.
we're not talking about
Wait,
marriage.
time.
We're
Let
talking
me
about single
finish. Let me
motherhood.
finish. And what you think is any different? You think you?
I think that Clarence is making a good point in that because I think it's you're conflating matters when you bring up marriage because marriage is just not something that the community does
But okay,
by
but we're gonna
percentage.
sit up here and act like most of the. Okay, so you have a baby with a woman, and you guys are not married. You think that dynamic is different. You think in that dynamic, the men are leaving, but in the marriage dynamic, the women are leaving. I will
I
argue.
agree.
I think it's
Hold
both.
on. No, okay, wait. See, I understand what SKC is saying, but I agree with Archer on this one, and I've argued that if when they get married, their whole they get everything they wanted, their relationship goals, bucket list is complete, and they're still dipping up out of there over 80% of the time. You got to believe that, it stands to reason that they're the one ending those relationships, even without the marriage. If they're willing to break up a family with a marriage, I mean, what is breaking up with a baby daddy? So I mean, it stands to reason that the women are still leaving. We can use marriage stats as our guide on that one. So
Well,
yeah.
not exactly.
The reason why I disagree with that, Bernard, is like here I am playing giving cover to CJ.
Simps,
Look at that.
You're being Simps advocate. Go ahead.
Yeah. Look at that. But no, I don't think that there is a good enough correlation between the two, because just being honest is like, come on, people that are having children like that, you're acting as if they're in some type of exclusive relationship where they're
There we
both
go.
not just effing around wantonly as they see fit, and then
Okay.
a baby came up.
When you're
There we
talking
go.
about
Nobody's
when you're
saying
hold on
that.
when you're talking about the situations where people got pregnant just off a hookup, then yeah, that wouldn't apply. You can't say that a man left a relationship, or a woman left a relationship if it was never a relationship. So I mean, we can break it up into two categories. We could say the people who were just having casual sex and just got pregnant on the fly. Then we could say the people who are in an actual relationship, and then the woman more than likely was the one that ended it, or people who was in an actual marriage, and the woman who we statistically have proof that ended it. But you're right, technically, that the people who just got pregnant on some casual hookup shit, no, we can't lump them into the stats.
That's
not even statistically a factor, because we got to stop acting. I know in the space we like doing this as if dudes are just getting women pregnant off of one night stands. That barely happens.
I'm not
Especially
saying
with
one night stands, but like casual situations where they're not in a committed loving relationship.
Most
That's
people-
actually
okay.
way more common than you think.
And that's the part that I'm making the argument with is this. You're stating that you want to use the marriage statistics to say the 80% thing, which I get. However, we know that the community does not do marriage. So if they don't do marriage, we know that they're not doing committed relationships. That's a given, because if you wanted a committed relationship, the next step of that would be marriage.
Well, that's logically thinking, but we live in a community where women run everything. And so, yes, I believe they are
Both
doing committed.
men and women in the community are eat, sleep, fight, bussing as much as possible. They doing their rotation thing. They swiping right and blah blah blah. And they may have on both sides. You may have 3 or 4 different people that they sleep with, and then somebody gets pregnant.
Okay. So we're gonna sit up here and
preaching
say,
right now.
We're gonna sit up here and say there's two type of kids that come out of Black community. Either ones that come from marriage, or ones that just coming from people hook up. Like where there's no type of long-term relationships that don't involve marriage. Like even Clarence, you've been in a long-term relationship where there's no marriage in sight.
Yes,
but you're in a
what I'm saying is that's decreasing, though, is what I'm saying. That's going down.
I'll cite Hood Conservative as just an example. He said he was with a woman for 10 to 12 years. They had 3 kids. He proposed to her. She said no. Granted, that's an anecdote, but still, like people be actually in relationships, and yeah, women, it's a percentage of them. I'm not even going to put a number on it. There's a percentage of them who, they'll be with a dude, they'll have kids with a dude, but when it comes down to it, they don't want to be 100% committed and tied down. Like that is a thing, and that is a thing, and that is a problem. Now, if SKC just want to say it's something culturally baked into the cake where it's a lot of men and women who are doing it wrong, and that's just the community, I agree with you. I understand that, but
see, we agree again.
Stop it. one thing that this space has done a good job at is pointing out, like I say, always say, taking the mask off the Scooby-Doo villain. We're pointing out the areas in which the woman's whole pathology in this modern time is at fault with it. But there is an element, there's a percentage of men who we talk about all the time who they love the gynocracy. they love it, and they participate in it. They seed it, so to speak. Yeah, those dudes exist. Those
Well,
dudes
Clarence,
exist.
Clarence asked the question.
I'm not trying to start any beef or anything. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
so far as when we look at the community as a whole, why are we playing games? We know that there are a large percentage of people who were the product of a pump and dump.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, what do we mean by? I mean, what do we mean by large? I mean, I'm okay. Look, this is what happened right here, because Clarence asked the question, how can you put most of this blame on the women? You're essentially saying you
Okay.
can't. They were just hooking up. And I don't believe that. I don't believe that I still believe black people get into relationships. I've heard black women in this space literally say it's a bigger commitment to get married to a man than it is to have his child. We've heard this in this space. And many black women
we can't just not call out that pathology. Like,
Yeah, they do say
yeah,
that.
go ahead.
Guys don't say it, but their actions show that they believe the same thing.
No, okay, look, the guy can propose a marriage. Like, even on Kevin, we've watched Kevin Samuels, where every woman, there's not a black woman that makes it to 30 that hasn't been proposed to at least twice. And yet still most of them have never been married. Black men still believe in marriage when they get the right girl. They still believe in that. Black women get proposed to all the freaking time, ring and everything, and they turn it down. They tell their own stories when you give them the chance to tell their stories about how this man, that man proposed to them. We even got Concrete Rose, who's had man proposed to her that she's turned down.
Yeah, so but were those men the fathers of their children?
I mean, they could have
been women's children.
But if you're but if they have children and they didn't marry the man they had the child with, what makes you think their pathology was different? It changes now that we have a child. That's the way it works with black women when they don't believe having a child.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it could be that the two individuals that created that child had no thought process or plan towards being in a long-term relationship. And within the community, if we understand that, if we're looking at the statistics of such a large group of people who do not understand what a sound family structure looks like, why are we going to sit up here and play this game as if, oh man, the people that came out of that, no, they really do want long-term relationships? That's all they seen.
Okay, look, that's not what I'm saying. See, what you're saying is from an ideal purview of what the true definition of a long-term relationship and marriage is. I understand that. I understand what you're saying. This is what a marriage should be. This is what a long-term relationship. But we're talking about a very distorted community. And in that distorted community, we have really weird dynamics of relationships. Not even like, so what I'm saying is that most babies come from situations where, people are together. They may not be together in a functional relationship or what you consider a real relationship, but in their mind, the consensus between them two is they're in some type of weird thing. They got some weird thing going on. And typically that
doesn't count. That doesn't matter though. It's either functional or it's not.
So the only way we can count a relationship and count it towards the women leaving the man they had the baby by is that it's a functional relationship by the way we define functional relationships.
Yes. It's either functional or it's not.
So if it's not functional,
why are we getting into the weeds with all of this?
It's not really the weeds,
this crazy
because
stuff.
Black women do relationships. In those relationships where they have baby daddies, they leave them and they're in relationships with them. You're saying that doesn't exist unless it's marriage.
No, all I'm saying is that by product of using the terminology baby daddy, it's already effed up from the beginning.
Yeah, but in that terminology, in that situation, the baby daddy and the baby mama was together and the baby mama left, which goes back to Clarence's question, how can you put most of the blame on black women? Because they're the ones leaving that situation. Whatever.
But in that situation, they were already out of order, both of them. So
I think SKC's point is that they were together in
real quick. I'll pass it to Pablo, but it's funny how Clarence, you're celebrating what SKC is saying only because he's saying something that takes some, not all, just some of the blame off the woman. It's like you like,
oh no, he's just telling the truth. That's all.
Long as you like, yes, everything is messed up. The community is messed up. It's all a disaster. Just please don't blame the woman, please. It's like that's all you're doing right now.
I'm not saying don't blame the women. I'm just saying there's a lot of blame to go around.
That's all. That's what you're.
No, there's
not. excited. That's what you're excited about.
That's
and
all.
But no, y'all
I
do that
find
on the other
interesting,
side.
but hold on,
Y'all
hold
do the
on,
same
hold on.
thing on the other side.
Hold on.
Thank you,
hold
OG.
on. All right, okay. We have a good debate today. We'll have a good debate today. I like this. Gearing up for a good one. But go ahead, Pablo.
Yeah, so I basically came on just to correct Clarence on the statistical matter. The 70% single mother rate that you hear so often is not actually single mothers, it's unwed mothers. It does not. It does not include divorcees. It does not include widowers. That is a 70% unwed mother rate. That is women who had children before the benefit of marriage. So when people throw that term out, that study that they're referencing, it does not include divorcees and widowers. It is women who had children without the benefit of marriage when the child was born.
Won't you correct that walkie-talkie you talking through over there before you start trying to correct somebody or best fuss or anything else? I'm telling you, you key down on your mic. You key down on your mic. You wouldn't have that cracking part. What you're trying to do? Wait a minute, I'm just trying to help your broadcast, Bernard, right about now. He's got his mic keyed up too much. He need to key it back down. You can't have a voice like mine. I don't give a damn how you do. But you need to key it down a little bit, brother.
I'm on an iPad.
OG, I'm just trying to figure out why you dressed up all nice. Did you like died and get up out the casket or something? Like why you?
Well,
what you?
You know, sometimes Bernard, I look debonair when I have to. You know, when I have to put one of you brothers to the pasture.
You start getting on a panel with the women. That's when you start trying.
No. Look. Relationship hustler. I don't need to be getting on. I don't need to be getting on no damn internet and trying to find some women. I got all these women out in California. You think I need to be on the internet? You lost your monkey ass mind. But anyway. Hold
on, wait. I want to throw.
You got a mic. I'm trying to help you.
Real quick.
You got a mic. You got a mic keyed in. That's why you getting that squeak noise. You got two mics open somewhere.
Me?
Yes. That's why you get
squeaking.
Every once in a while you get a squeak. That means you got a dead mic around open up somewhere.
Yeah, I got a second mic over there.
Yes, that's where you get me. They're too close to each other, so that's why you get that squeaky noise every once in a while.
All right, cool. I'll fix it later.
Go ahead and get it in.
So, all right. Clarence, something was thrown out there. Then you were called a baby daddy by someone in the chat. Did you? I hate to get personal, but this is going to highlight what sort of I think the point that me and Archer is making. Did you want to marry that woman?
Oh yeah, we still together to this day.
Do you want to marry her?
Yeah.
Why don't you marry?
Okay. Did you propose to her?
Not yet.
Okay. All right. Okay. So we can't exactly pin it on you, but
can I raise my hand?
Go ahead, Archie.
Okay. Yes, we can. We can pin everything on it because you're following the woman's program. You've even said before another panel.
Where you get that from?
Wait, let me finish.
Let him explain it.
You said on it before another panel. And I did this before too, because I understand exactly where you're coming from. Remember, I ain't shit, and I got 3 baby mamas. So I understand exactly where you're coming from, bro. You want to give her the best wedding in the world. I get it. Yeah. I get it. But at the same time, that's because she wants it, not because you want it. That's because she wants it. That's not because that's what's best for your family. That's because of what she wants. That's why you haven't gone. Why haven't you gone to the courthouse and just got the papers now?
Because I don't want to do that at the moment.
But you want to marry her. What's the difference? Why wait?
You want to have a big, wonderful wedding? That what you're saying?
Yeah, the only reason to wait.
Let him talk. That's to him. Go ahead, Clarence.
I'm saying, yeah, we did things out of order, but you don't just jump and make a decision to correct it, because then you create another problem. You got to make sure you got the foundation.
Okay, CJ.
Yeah, what's up?
You said you want to marry this woman? Does she want to marry you?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So if y'all
then go get the papers.
No. I'm not gonna just push him and say just go get the papers. No. Wait. It's real simple. I'm just curious. Not trying to. I'm not that dude that try to push a dude into marrying a woman. If you want to wait, you want to wait. But I'm just asking, just simply, what are y'all waiting for? If that's truly what both you and her want to do, what are y'all waiting for?
Well, we've been together since like sophomore year in college.
That ain't even answering the question. What are y'all waiting for?
That's what I'm getting to. I'm saying it was a lot of, a lot of ups and downs and issues and all that kind of stuff. And so we making sure we got that foundation solid to where it's supposed to be. And then we're gonna jump in to make that jump.
But wait,
Okay, so
come on.
y'all trying to
Why
get
did-
y'all trying to get y'all we're trying to get the situation solid to where it need to be.
with a
Yeah.
kid? With a
That's
kid
vague.
already?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Like finances, communication, family,
Oh my God.
vision, all that stuff.
Okay.
All women babble. That's
I-
what I'm saying.
I'll-
It's following
I'll keep
her
it-
program. No, let me jump. I'm sorry.
I'll keep
I'm
it real.
triggered.
I'll keep it real, Clarence. I mean,
What
and
does
I'm
that
not
have
even
to do
going.
with- I don't
I'm not.
understand.
Hold on, real quick. I'm not even gonna hold your feet to the fire on it. It sounds like you ready to just jump right out there and marry her right now. And
Absolutely not.
it just sounds like she's the one who's saying that, well, we need to get this together, or financially this needs to be right, and we need to communicate better, and you need to be a better
Nice.
partner, and you need
Clarence,
to
can I ask you a question?
that's
Can I ask Clarence a
what it
question?
sounds like. Now I do
No.
gotta
What
I
I'm
do
saying
gotta hold on,
is,
wait, time out. I'll be
Okay.
remiss if I didn't do this. Now, Archer, you fit in the bill of what SKC was talking about when he was saying no, it's men and women out there, because you just said you got 3 baby mamas, and I'm pretty sure you wouldn't try to marry either one of them. And if
See that, but that's the assumption. Everybody that's the
yeah,
reason why we have.
fair enough.
that-
Fair enough.
I'm
But
I'm
you can correct
35
it.
years old. I'm 35 years old. I've had a 7-year relationship with one of them, a 5-year relationship with one of them, and a 3-year relationship. I never had ghetto twins. I never got any of the women pregnant when I basically was in the same situation Clarence was in every single time, where we were dating for a long time and they got pregnant. I understand where he's coming from with that. I'm not like, I know everybody assumes Archer got 3 baby mamas. They assume he just got 3 women pregnant and probably more hidden out there somewhere, out and within like 6 months. I know how people think, but I'm 35 years old. I'm old. I've been effing. I'm not gonna curse since I was 16. So I've been out here.
No,
bro.
we can cuss. You can cuss. You can cuss. Ain't no thing.
I've been out here. So what I'm saying,
Your
is
mom
that-
said you was 15.
my mom, my what?
Your
Listen,
mom
old
said
man.
you was
You been fucking 20 years.
Archie.
Listen,
you know-
oh man,
No,
I ain't
he
got
said
time for you right
7.
now.
He said
Hold on,
7'3".
whoa, time
Wait a minute, he
out,
said
time out.
7'3" and 5, and he's 35 years old. You take 15 from 35. How many you got?
Oh
You're
my
15
God,
years
bro.
old. Okay, I just want to say.
OG. Before I go to you, look, man, you in a dark room with no windows and got shades on, man. What the hell?
I got this bright light. Don't you see the reflection of this bright light I got on me? I'm a dog, so I don't. I'm
And
so
how does
dark.
my math say 15? I'm 35 years old. 5 is 30. Take 3 away from that's 27. Take another 7 away from that is 20. Your math is even off. You had a 5.
You said 3,
5,
7, and 5. That's
Yeah.
15, right?
And I'm 35.
Oh boy.
Right. So you
Math
be
is
15.
complicated.
You take 15
All
from
right,
35.
I gotta
is what?
interrupt. I gotta
Jesus
interrupt all this.
Christ.
I gotta interrupt all this niggonometry y'all trying to do. What I need to happen right now is OG. What I need you to do, I need you to like rock side to side and sing
Ray
Georgia.
Charles.
Right there.
Yeah. Georgia on my mind. Yeah.
I'll say this. I'll say this real quick, Clarence. Just the other thing before I head out, because like I said, I wasn't trying to give you a whole bunch of smoke, man. But you mentioned this whole thing about Courtney Michelle as a starter for your team, and what I'm saying is like, and this is not a judgment call to you. I'm just saying I'm using you as an avatar for the greater community. So when you have people who acknowledge, yes, we did things in the incorrect order, and then you make a judgment call like, yeah, Courtney Michelle could be a starter. Dude, you're talking about a middle-aged baby mama who gets online and says that I'm the ish. What are you talking about? A starter? See, that's a starter for, I don't know, the Cleveland Browns. I mean, that's not a championship, a team that you're talking about. Of course, their standards are going to be a lot lower.
Well,
I had a question for Clarence, if I may. So, Clarence, do you believe, or you can tell me, which do you believe is a more serious commitment between two people? Having a child together or getting married?
Having a child.
But you didn't wait to finances for that.
Yeah.
Wait,
so
you say, whoa, time out.
Having a child?
I was reading the chat. God damn it! You said having a child is a bigger commitment.
Yeah, because having a child
That's what he said.
is for life.
I mean, he's correct.
You can divorce somebody or break up with them, but you have a child with somebody.
Right.
That's you and them until death.
So
And then
why would you?
generations
So
after
then why would you be? So then to Archer's point. So then why would it be such a cautious dip your toe in the water move to marry a woman you already have a child with?
Exactly. Thank you.
All right. So I'm glad you asked that.
Thank you.
So basically, I'm gonna put it to you like this. The goal is just not for us to get married. The goal is for us to stay married the entire time. And since we've been dealing with each other, been together for a long time, there's been a lot of issues along the way. A lot of stuff that we gotta work on and fix and
So here, let me help you out.
Hold on, wait.
Let me help him out. I'm gonna help him out real quick. So basically, you had a child with a woman you don't get along with enough to marry.
No, I didn't say that. I'm saying
you're part of the problem.
You are saying it. You are saying it.
Listen.
Okay.
Here's the funny part. Like CJ, on your channel, you be saying stuff that line up with like a woman will generally reciprocate. Just be a decent guy, don't stink, have a job, act like you got some sense, do all the stuff that you're saying that I assume you do. I assume that you're doing all the stuff that you berate and hand wave at other men for not doing. I assume you're doing all of that, but at the same time, you're like, oh well, we having problems, but you present yourself as this dude who's doing what a man is essentially supposed to do. But it seems like these problems that you're having, I'm sorry, it sounds like it's coming from her. It's shit that it's bullshit that she's on that you're fighting and trying to contend with it. Like that
sound like a poopy,
that's what
bro.
I'm saying. I'm not sure where y'all are getting that from.
Well, wait, Bernard. That's kind of the reason why I came up here, because I've been listening all morning. It was good with everybody. What's going on, Bernard?
Good morning.
I was trying to pin down a position of his, this whole sort of one-on-one, right? And shout out to Sir Tice. He even caught it, and a couple other people caught it. It's like, okay, well, do you actually have a position on anything, right?
No, Carter, real quick, Complex. He has positions on things. Yeah. He's being more obtuse today because he's in the lines and then
wait a minute.
He's in front of the firing squad, so he's being more obtuse today. That's
no. I think what's happened here is that we've kind of uncovered some things because it was really hard to make a determination as to what exactly he was saying. But then he starts to tell us about his situation right now, and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. So you kind of have these sort of quasi, maybe sort of semi-critical views of positions that men take in the manosphere, only to come to find out that your whole shit is backwards and you're not even really doing it the right way right now.
What problem?
I mean, dude, that's kind of like the reason why I even had to pull up on a mirror for like kind of like the same thing. Like, how do you get out here and say these types of things, but then in your life doesn't kind of reflect? Joe, okay, no, you got it, bro.
Yeah, I'm not sure where y'all are getting this stuff from. Like,
all right, well,
for example, problems. I don't recall saying we had any problems.
You literally just did.
No, I said like we had some issues over the years, and so you got to rebuild the foundation and work on all these different kinds of things.
Okay, I'm sure issue.
That's all.
I'm sure problem, a problem, and an issue. I'm sure they're synonyms.
No,
pretty
but
sure.
I was referring to the past. I didn't say like there's anything currently.
Oh, okay, yeah, currently. Okay, what issues? What issues were you
Clarence,
causing her? Hold on, real quick. What issues were you causing her?
I don't want to get into all of my fuckery.
Trust. He's
building
trust. He's building trust.
No. OG, don't lead the witness.
See, okay. OG know he know the game, so he know. Thank you.
What?
Somebody listening.
Hold on. Okay, so CJ, are you telling me that Mr. Goody Two Shoe Good Man, you was cheating on her? Is that what you're saying?
I didn't say that. I just said we had some issues that we had to work on over the years. And see,
I think
it's
y'all had to work
interesting
on.
because really quickly, like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know what y'all experiences are in relationships, but y'all are like stating that like it's like she's leading the relationship when actually no.
Well,
See,
CJ, I'll tell you
in
right
my
now,
opinion, really quick,
my
real quick,
experience has been
in
married.
in my mind, when you say you're gonna be a husband and the head of the family and things like that, that's like a very serious position, and you want to be in a certain position yourself
Yeah,
in
why
order
don't
to
you guys,
be able to
why don't
handle
you guys
that.
do
Oh,
guys
hold on,
who
hold on,
don't?
hold on.
Oh, hold
In
on,
order
wait,
to
wait,
be
wait.
able to handle that
Yeah.
undertaking. And so it's not about what she's doesn't want to do or anything like that. It's about me getting to where I want to be, where I feel as though I can successfully fulfill that role. It don't have nothing to do with what she's saying or doing. I don't, I don't know where
But
you're
in the
getting that
meantime, you're kind of quasi doing it,
kind of
Are
quasi doing what?
that
doing the
that
husband thing.
leading role, that position
Yeah.
that you say you need to be
Or are
in?
you not right now? Which
Like, I mean, are
that's
you a
what I was saying. It's
homosexual?
very
Wait,
telling now.
time out.
Bernard.
So is she like taking care of you right now?
No.
Okay, so do you make more money than her?
Honestly, I don't even know what she makes because it really don't matter to me. So I
Wow.
couldn't
Okay,
Okay.
so
tell
Go
you.
ahead, Bernard.
yeah. Okay, so y'all are two working people that make about the same thing then.
Probably.
Okay, so basically, you're saying you need to make X amount of dollars in order for y'all to basically do what you're accusing other people of not doing.
Oh no, it's not even. That's the thing. It's not. It's
When
not
you're
really
saying
even
that when
about
you
money.
did
It's
the video
about
saying the average man is not enough, or you talking about yourself?
and if you listen to the video, I was talking about that in certain aspects. Like that's the thing with my
Well, I'm
content.
sorry,
Like,
I got lost in the blizzard of words. Were you
oh,
talking about yourself?
I said in the video that I was referring to myself in certain contexts. Like when you really
Okay.
watch my content, when I talk
It
about
sound like
different,
you with a woman that think you're not good enough and you're working hard to become good enough so y'all could really be together and be happy.
Okay,
oh
Bernard. I
no,
wasn't going to
see,
say all that.
and see, if you listen to my content, when I make the content, when I talk about different issues and things, like anything that I'm doing or have done in the past, I throw that out there. So it's like it's not a secret.
I think I'm understanding you now. I think you've been gaslit to thinking that you're not good enough, and that's sort of where you probably coming from.
Oh no, that's not
This
the
is
case
a
at all.
this is a bad place to
I
be
don't
in,
hear I
man.
don't hear that,
That's
Bernard.
not. Yeah, I don't know where y'all getting that from.
This,
I think
I don't hear
maybe
that.
man,
because you
You
guys
this
want me
is
to
had
tell
a
you what I hear,
bad place to
Bernard?
be
about
in.
what the women.
You
I
want me
don't
to tell
know.
you what I hear, Bernard?
Georgia,
Yeah,
Georgia.
Georgia, yeah. But anyway, Bernard, you want to tell this is what I hear.
All right, go
I
ahead. I'm
hear.
gonna get to. Hold on, yeah. I'm gonna get to the. I see the super chats coming through. I'm about to get to all of them. I got them all starred. They coming. I'm gonna get to all of them. But
This
go
is what
ahead.
I
Go
hear.
ahead, OG.
This is what I hear, Bernard. I hear a young man who's been in a relationship, somewhat or another. He became to take it for granted and start pursuing his options, and probably got caught a couple of times. And so each time he got caught, he had to try to build that trust and stuff back up again. So the entanglement that he's in.
I don't take CJ for a cheater. I really don't.
No, I didn't say he was a cheater, but he wanted to fish in some other water, and maybe it was just a conversation, and he got caught with conversation pictures or whatever. But what I'm saying is, there's some trust issues in his relationship, and he's in the back of his mind too. I don't think he's not good enough for this young lady. I think he's better, and he can get better options, and that's what's he getting cold feet because he figured like once he commit that something else is gonna come along. That's what I feel from this conversation.
Oh no, it's
Okay,
not that
that's
either.
perfectly fine. That's perfectly okay. I guess once again, as a dude who's been married and done all that kind of stuff, it's a very interesting position, to listen to a conversation and have somebody again have somewhat critical views of, let's just say, things that are expressed in the manosphere, only to come to find out that his own situation isn't exactly the most ideal. And so that's where I try to figure out, okay, well, where is this coming from? Right. Because like I said, dude, Amiri did it on Bernard's just a few days ago. Same shit, but different scenarios.
Yeah.
I can second that.
We'll get into that. But Black Sword in the building with the $2 super chat. He's saying my last $2. I gotta make that just an audio clip. I got a lot of shit to do. But all right, shout out to you. Just want to hear to my last.
These last $2, I'm not gonna lose.
Shout out to Uncle Stu. Shout out to hold on real quick. Shout out to Uncle Stu, the old man on the block. He says, "Why men who speak this way have no woman as a result of their own." Though, I mean, I think he's a little late in the conversation. He says, "I am married to a submissive wife with daughters. I have results. Can he show results?" Just asking. Well, I mean, he got a woman and children and whatnot. So I think he posted that, before the conversation went in that direction. But shout out to Uncle Stu, the old man on the block. I'm going to be on this show, I think, on the 17th at 7 p.m. Tom Cat in the building. He says, "And after all this modification, guess who is coming to dinner with the guys now? Mingling, Lupe, and Becky. Ain't nobody going put up with all this madness." Shout out to RM. She said, "Okay. Oh wait, no. Oh, she was just telling me that I missed Uncle Stu's super chat. No, I don't miss no super chats now. I catch them. I catch them all. Osmosis says Creflo specifically called out KS. It's in the church. Yeah, that's what I mean by the red pill is everywhere. Everybody is responding to it, reacting to it. They can't even have the conversation sometimes even in a church without people having the thoughts and perspectives of people in this space into the back of their mind. Clarence, you use female talking points communicate. Shout out to Freeman's Journal. He said, Clarence, you use female talking points communication. Children are more important than marriage. You are criticizing your own insecurities because hashtag Keisha won't marry and therefore validate you.
I don't know where y'all be getting this stuff from, honestly.
Right out of your mouth. Right out of your mouth.
I didn't say any of that.
All right. No, I mean, no, you literally did just say
y'all
children.
got a lot of hurt in y'all, man.
You did literally just say children are more important than a marriage. Like that's literally how women think. They don't want the commitment of a marriage, but they do want the baby. They're basically saying, I want a family where I'm the head of it, where I don't have to listen to a man. So that's how they warp it in their head that no, these children, this was more about them than it is a marriage, because marriage means man. And
I didn't say more.
Bad.
I know you said which one is more, which one is a bigger commitment. A child is a lifelong commitment. Marriage is for however long you want it to be. So
wait a minute. Whoa.
And again, and that's modern female talk. So
I was going to say
flat out is.
Hold on.
Because men don't be on some seasonal marriage shit. Men don't be on some term marriage shit. If a man marry a woman, he's committed to that shit for the long haul. Women are on the seasonal term marriage shit. Rather the man is in on it or not. Thus the reason they're filing 80% of the divorces. Freeman Journal's back in the building with a $2 super chat. He says support black male media. No guarantees in the building. Says salute Pastor B. Our side note, Complex Dine and SKC need to collab. Don't know exactly what he's referring to there. Or you mean a collab with me on my channel, or they need to collab together, or I don't know exactly what you're talking about. But shout out to you, do appreciate it. Golden Eagle 99 says for Hurricane Edward to get on the panel. Man, I'm waiting.
Hey, I'll let him have the floor when he pulls up, man.
Yeah, Ed is always welcome. Perfect Storm in the building says he is a Pookie trying to defend the gynocracy. I wouldn't call him a Pookie. I would not call him a Pookie.
Man, these terms.
Ruckus
like
Buck. Yeah, you know all these terms. You've studied all these terms. You've been studying this space for the longest. Cut it out. You know exactly. Know exactly what it is.
I know what it is.
You on the front lines for it. You one of those people that will criticize the gender war, even though you've picked a side in the gender war. You one of those.
I don't have a side. I'm on.
No, you've picked a side. You know what team you own. You know what flag you carry.
I'm team black.
I have a question for him. CJ, I have a question.
Real quick. Once you cheat, she will hold it over your head forever. Shout out to Ruckus Buck. And almost at the bottom of the super chats, shout out to Tapin. Says you're good enough, CJ. You deserve to be a dad to your kid. Well, no, I mean he's a dad. Y'all all they all live together. I think they live together under the same roof. Is that correct?
Yeah. So I don't know
so
what y'all be talking about.
Yeah. Shout out to Mike and Vince Perkins. Appreciate the $2 super chat. He says I support this ass whooping.
Damn.
All right. Back.
I had a question for CJ.
And I got a question for Bernard.
Okay. CJ, so would you say as a man like myself who got married and then had a child, I did it backwards?
No, you did it the way you're supposed to do it.
So why?
Complex design, because you brought that up, I just
Go
want to
ahead. Go
throw
ahead.
this in
Go ahead.
to what you're stating. We have had economists starting from Sowell to Walt Williams to Glenn Lowry to Ian Rowe to Roland Fryer, who have done it, showed over and over and over and over the success model. Finish school, have a full-time job, have marry before you carry. 90 something percent of millennials that followed that pattern are not in poverty. Why is that such a problem for the community, CJ?
Now, real quick, before you answer, CJ, I just want to point out, SKC, you know your boy Amiri Brown set out to debunk that. That thing that works 90% of the time. I didn't watch the video. I just could see
he didn't make a video for it.
I saw the title.
Right. I did. We had that conversation, and then I made a video stating everything that he was going to try to come at it with, because I still manned him, and then he decided not to do the video.
Oh.
Well, you know, SKC, he would be de facto debunking his own marriage by doing that.
Exactly. But hold on. So we're gonna go to CJ. CJ, you can respond to what SKC said.
I forgot, honestly.
Why is it such a problem to follow the success model? Finish high school, have a full-time job, marry before you carry. It has a 96% success rate.
I think there's a lot of different reasons for that. Number one, a lot of people may disagree, but I think the move away from Christianity has a part in that. The casual sex culture has a part in that. Just to name a few reasons.
I think what SKC is referring to is the simple fact that when you say that having a kid before marriage, you say that's a bigger commitment. I mean,
no, I didn't. I wasn't talking about the order. I'm just saying a child is a bigger commitment. You should still do it after you get married. That's what you should do. But just factually speaking, you can leave a relationship whenever you want, but you can't.
Okay, but you're talking about a marriage. You're talking about a marriage as if it's just a relationship that you could just end with a text message. I mean, that's part of the problem. That's how women be talking about marriage. They talk about it in a very sketchy, non-committal kind of way, because to them, that man's seed and that kid is what that's what they want to pull out of it. That's what they want to pull from him. If they got that, they're good. If they could take some resources with them on the way out the door, even better. It's like, so
yeah,
that's why
this is some sick junk, man.
Wait a minute.
I mean, I'm gonna leave up out of here because this is some sick junk. And I hate this part of the conversation because I get it's the men and women gender war back and forth. And I hate to be the guy that's like, okay, crap, what about the kids? But good grief. Do you not get that you're robbing children from the ability to have a functional household to grow up in, where they get to see two people that love each other and trust each other? I mean, God, dog, what do you think that it feels like to have children grow up in a situation where the mom and dad are in here, but they don't trust each other enough to get married?
Dude, you're literally breeding that shit into your children,
That's
bro. And
SKC,
here's the other part to this, dog. Like, the part that amazes me is that marriage does involve vows, right? And those vows don't include things like divorce, vis-a-vis irreconcilable differences and shit like that. It involves things like till death do us part, which happened in my marriage, for example, right? See, so we lived out those motherfucking vows. That was a contract and we took it. And we committed to that shit. What the fuck is the problem with motherfuckers actually committing to some shit? You guys will go sign a goddamn car loan, right? You'll commit to making payments on that. You'll commit to a whole bunch of shit in life. But when it comes to something that's the most beneficial for your offspring, we get this insecure waffling and wavering and well, I don't know if it's all this and that, but but we got kids though. This shit is backwards, bro. That's why I said I'm going to ask you, did I do it backwards?
Can I jump in
Complex. These will be the complex.
Can I
These
jump
will
in
be
on
the
this?
same people that will be saying you need to sign your name on some type of community role to be down for black people when you have people that don't even want to commit to their children.
Right.
Have a functional relationship for their children.
SKC, don't even go nowhere yet. Here's the thing, CJ. Hey, I am married. That's married to life. Everybody talks about these divorces and they say, well, okay, my kids is 18. I can get a divorce. Do you realize that children are still affected in adulthood if they find out that their parents is getting a divorce, even them being grown adults? Do you realize that the culture of marriage has changed? The mindset of women has changed.
That's what I just said.
No, you haven't. I have actually listened to the whole conversation. I don't have a problem with standards. I don't have a problem with defending these men and what they're going through because, dude, I am on the street. I don't just have YouTube conversations. I have off YouTube conversations. Do you realize that the mindset and the culture of women has totally taken a 180-degree turn? I seen that whole thing that Edward Anderson did this morning and that breakdown. Dude, explain to me what the definition of a strong-minded woman is. Explain to me what the definition of a good girl is. And when you can explain that to me, explain to me why a so-called average man cannot be with an average woman. Why is it every time I got to hear these conversations and hear these so-called I'ma defend these women issues, none of y'all is out here and actually physically doing the damn work.
God damn it, thank you.
What are you
say
talking about?
to me, JC, what I'm saying to you is, when I say doing the work, my question is, I have daughters that has gotten married, that got college degrees. But as a father, they understood the meaning of submission. They understood the meaning of protection. They understood the meaning of their roles. These women today do not understand their roles.
Well, we talked about that. I agree that there was a percentage of women who do that. Like I agree with
But you said it's a low number, dude. If it's a low number, we wouldn't have to have a platform.
Exactly.
Clarence, let me ask you this: Is your quote unquote baby mama? Is she one of the ones that don't understand what she need to do?
No, she wouldn't be with me if that was the case.
Okay, so then it's you.
That's not necessarily true because she might not be able to do better than you. That's so there's a lot of that going on too.
I'm with SKC and Complex Design on this, in that I find it quite baffling that so many people in the black community is the whole baby thing is so easy, but the whole commitment thing is so hard.
Right.
I agree with you on that.
No, and then
the hell out of it.
Because I'm not gonna stay here long. Because I actually did want to pop up just to get up here. Does all y'all got kids? Am I the only one on here without kids? I don't know if
That
it's
is
SKC
correct.
got kids.
I got kids too. Yes, sir.
So Bernard, do you know if SKC had kids?
SKC is married and has, I think,
he has children.
Okay,
Three
Archer
children.
and Archer had kids. Okay, so here's one of the things I want to talk about. I can't speak on the kid shit. Well, I could, but I'm not when all y'all on here. That's the point. With different experiences. Here's the thing that I am going to speak to when it comes to Clarence. I've talked to Clarence, and Clarence is a nice guy, but the bullshit is the bullshit. Here's the thing. I don't like that this space becomes the amalgamation of everything that's fucking wrong. Like what folks do that don't understand, or they want to take the time to actually really work out through these issues or these thoughts. They come over here and then they try to play the game of we're the bad guys. And there's dudes that do it, there's women that do it. Mm-hmm. Because it's not our fault that we don't want to sing the fucking song and dance that y'all want to sing. Y'all, because here's the thing. This is where the shit gets real childlike. Everybody on this panel, whether they agree or not, because we all have some slight like variances on certain things, and those are just as valid, if not more so, in anything that I have to say. We all come into this with good intentions and intentions to help and intentions to improve. And nobody really on this platform has any ill will towards the opposite sex. We don't believe, nobody on this panel believes that in order for black men to win, even Pablo, because I know Pablo is more on the pass for SYSBM thing, which is no problem because I'm the same way. But nobody believes, even Pablo does not, and you correct me, Pablo, doesn't believe in order for him to win, black women have to lose. Nobody believes that. Nobody comes into these conversations with that, and people have been on here years. Now, we will fight for our right to do what the fuck we want to do as we outline it, but nobody believes that. But Clarence, how you talk about what we come in, keep in mind, you're the youngest on here, and I'm the second youngest on here. You got folks, this is what this space is. What you're looking at is a good representation of a lot of the content creators in this space. Dudes that either have been married, are married, got kids, been in situations. Some of them are even like Archer, to be fair. But even Archer actually wanted to be married. Like Archer has his own story for the 980 chicks he was dealing with. And so
that I didn't know. So I've been unfairly judging. I mean, you got 3 baby mamas. That's a lot. But I didn't know it was a situation where he. I just thought he was just out there reckless.
No. Archer wanted to be married to each one of these. It's only like one. I think he misfired one, but they were all on some bullshit. And Archer is actually dealt. These are 980 chicks, by the way. So that ain't even African American women. One of them wanted to be a stripper, and she got a Nigerian, and she got disowned from her family. This is what Archer's publicly said. But anyway, my point is,
it'd be kind of not a good look when somebody with 3 baby mamas be going in on some of this stuff. I'm like, hold on, bro.
Archer literally had one of his baby mamas living and their boyfriend living in one of his properties that he owned. So Archer,
I remember. I think
Archer's
Angry Man did an intervention on him with that when I said.
Well, my point is, Archer's intentions are good. That's my point. So it becomes this bullshit where we're all these don't got kids, don't got this, ain't live life. And then you starting to hear it from motherfuckers that ain't even hit some of the hurdles that a lot of folks had. This is why I refer to folks. So that's the issue that I have with this. So even when you got panels of everybody on here, it's pretty, I'm only 3 years older than you, so I won't claim that. But everybody else is either big brother or damn near elder status. And you arguing with these folks like, I don't know what the fuck they talking about, even though they all got variances of the experiences that you're talking about. And so my only point is you're really a representative of a lot of the newer folks that y'all project y'all bullshit onto this space as if this space is everybody's in the closet, ain't nobody doing that. And the truth is, y'all not helping nobody doing that. You're not helping black women doing that. You're not helping young black men doing that. That's the first thing. The second thing, and then I'll just bow and leave y'all to y'all thoughts, is this. Anybody will tell you that, truth be told, if y'all really was serious about getting married, motherfucker, you, like Archie said, you can take your ass to that court, and if you want the wedding that you want, you could just renew your vows in 2 or 3 years, and when your paper is straight, that's when you have the real fucking wedding. People do that all the time. But what I don't like is people that play this cohabitation playhouse bullshit where everything's liquid, everything's fluid. So when she changes her mind, she can just blow everything up. Or this is what might happen to you, Clarence. 5 years, you say you've been with her a long time. 5 years, 6 years go by, and then how this is not personal, but it might be. How old is your the mother of your kids? Because I know you're like, what, 32?
I'm 34. She's 33.
Okay, so all it takes is 3-4 more years, and then you basically blew her entire prime. She will blame you for that. And even if she doesn't want to blame you personally, what she will do is her friends will be around her saying it's your fault, and then she'll buy into it. So then we get the story of the 38-year-old, and then, or the women in their middle age are going into it. And then they talk about the raggedy ass nigga that wasted their time, that they didn't want to get married, even though the truth is, I think it's more her. I think if she was really forcing you to do it, you would do it. If she was putting pressure.
Hold on. How can a woman force you to do anything?
If she put pressure on you to get married, I'll give you an easy way.
What would that mean to me, though?
What it would mean is, if we don't get married, I'm leaving your ass and you getting on that child support.
Well, guess what? If I don't want to do it, I just
Okay,
won't do
So
it.
you so hold on,
Hold on,
Hey, if
hold
that's
on,
the
hold on.
case,
Time out,
what
time
the
out,
hey?
time out,
Oh my God!
time out. Real quick, real quick,
so
real
you,
quick,
so are you
real
really
quick,
telling
real
me?
quick. Hey, whoa, 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 everybody, time out,
All
time out. That all of that is null and void because CJ has clearly stated that he wants to. When a man says he wants to do it and it's not being done, I think we're left with only one reason to think that it's something in her to where she doesn't want to do it. Like that's where I'm at with it. I honestly think like they in their mid-30s now. I thought she probably just waiting them out. Like
I mean, honestly, you not in the worst position in the world because if
I've
I didn't know
seen
she,
chicks
I didn't
do
know she
this.
was. You said she's how old? 33.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, you got 3 more years, and I mean, where's she gonna go? I mean, it ain't like you dealing with somebody that's famous, and because it takes a certain amount of fame to have to be proximity into a lot of dudes. I mean, that's the goofy shit a lot of women underestimate. But she'll still blame you because she'll then be, even this is the bullshit that we deal with.
That blaming him. That's only if she passionately wants it, and he's bullshitting around. And then they end up not working out. Then she will say he wasted my life. But he is the one. He wants it, and he didn't say she was the one bullshitting around. But he wants it, but it's not getting done.
Not
Okay.
necessarily.
Hey, I just want to say this, Edward, before I head out, because I'm gonna take off. Okay. It was a pleasure like having a conversation with all you. CJ, you're a good sport, man. Appreciate you. I just want to say this though, as a dude who took the proper steps to do it right. As a black man, I be finding this type of shit insulting. I gotta be real with you, CJ.
What type of?
I really like this type of shit. The type of shit a Mary does when brothers get up here and gaslight other brothers, right? And they shit ain't even true and proper. I'm just gonna tell you right now, bro. Like, always expect a nigga like me to pull up to correct the message, because that ain't a good look, man. With that, I'm out.
Yeah, well, yeah, and the truth is, the problem is, this is how women like it. Women like it this way. They like that fluid shit where they don't know what they are unless they got the nigga they absolutely want. Like one of them top tier niggas. That's the only like niggas that can basically get pretty much most women they want, and they want to make them folks all of a sudden develop good character so they could come off the market just for them. Other than that, they like this. We kind of in, but not really out. I'm secure, but it ain't really official. They like that shit. That's a part of women as women. But see, this is a leadership thing. That's my thing. The reality, CJ, that you're not understanding is really you doing supposedly everything that a husband is supposed to do. Also, your mindset on having everything together before you get married is actually not true. Most dudes, even white dudes, they get married when I don't either. When they get married when they're young, they don't be having everything together. That's some shit that that's some shit that black women say in order to justify why they don't want to get married. But the truth is, you don't have to have everything in 100% order. Is it ideal that you do so? Yes. But in the law of averages, dudes are not in their peak before they get married. You get married before you get to your peak, and then you grow together in your peak. This is why she has kind of like a thing when it comes to your commitment. She can say that because she put time in. What y'all are doing is everything but actually putting a title on it. And the thing, and like Complex was saying, the thing that nobody will ever be able to get around is this idea of a kid. Dude, having a kid to me is more of a commitment in today's world than being married. So you'll never be able to argue why you can have a kid and then you have to do the things that you need to do as far as being a good father. I got a question. Do you think you'll be a better father if you're a husband? If all of a sudden you're able to legally say you're a husband, do you think that automatically makes you a better dad?
Not automatically, but it would make an impact.
How?
In terms of showing the children the correct and proper way to do things and giving them the right example.
But as far so if you believe that every year you waste to do that, you're this is the example that you're leading right now. If you really believe that, because personally, I think you being a father your ability as a dad is meaningless whether you have the high title of husband or not. Especially if you're in the same physical house that your kids are in. That's my personal view. I don't have kids, so I'll leave that to everybody else. But if you actually believe that, then you're actually harming your kids every day. You choose not to get married, and then the reasons you don't want to get married is
He's
because
not
of how
choosing
you
not to.
feel. Well, I know that, but that's what he's saying.
Here's
That's what he's saying.
The thing is this though, rushing into it and getting a divorce would actually cause more harm than that. So,
dude, like if you're gonna get a divorce,
you're fearful that you're going to divorce her if you rush into it, or you're fearful that she may divorce you,
or are you fearful that you can't?
Let him answer. Let him answer.
The thing, see, I'm not red pill, so I'm not worried about a woman leaving me. I'll just get another one.
So why did you bring that up?
All right. So you still can answer the question.
Stu, see what the fuck we got to deal with.
You still
I did answer it. I'm not worried about that. So
no, I understand that you're not. But you said you were fearful. Whoa, stop. You can't say you're fearful of something and then say you're not worried about it. Again, those you use.
I never said I was fearful of somebody.
Okay, all right. You said
God, we need a fucking instant replay.
Goddamn, you said that you don't want to
get on that.
Yeah,
you don't want to get married to somebody who I think you've been with since you were for it sounds like 10, 12 years.
Yeah,
you don't want to rush into a marriage with somebody you've been with 12 years, and you got kids by. You don't want to rush into it and then end up getting a divorce. So are you worried that you're going to divorce her, or are you worried that she would divorce you? Which one are you worried about?
I'm worried about what's it called? Former. I forget. I always forget which one's the former. Well, the first one you said. I'm worried about myself.
You worried that you will divorce her. Is that
wait a minute? Wait. I'm sorry, Bernard. I can't let that go. Dude, earlier in the stream, you came up here talking about women got this big fear of divorcing men and all this fear dealing with men. Now you're up here talking about the fear. Wait.
Those still look like
children. How you gonna have children? Not one, but several children, and go through all these years with her, and then you telling me, oh, but I don't know if she's the one. Dude, you're about to get blasted by women who would go off on that statement.
When did I say that?
Dude, we deal with Obsidian. We deal with Obsidian all the time.
I'm serious. I'd never
said play that game. Obsidian has a black belt in that bullshit.
I'm just saying, y'all gotta respond to what I actually say sometimes. That's all.
You said earlier. Do I need to, Bernard? Can I clip your video?
Yes.
Can I clip? Because he said earlier in this video, you said they asked you. You said, hey, man, the reason a lot of these women don't want to get married because they got to fear. They got to fear this. Yes. They got to fear that. And then the first person that's coming out your mouth is, I'm the one that's afraid. But I'm not afraid of divorce. But I'm afraid of getting married.
Which validate, like, notice. Hold on. Notice he said that after Complex left, because Complex would have cussed him out for that shit.
Y'all gotta show me where I said I was afraid of anything.
Dude, you're gonna start making me put together compilations of people saying shit. Before
I guarantee you won't find that.
The point, yeah, we will. I mean, we know what you're saying.
Let me hold on real quick. Let me get to you copping please and being obtuse. But JC the Conqueror in the building says Keisha need coaching. Head ass nigga. Just for those that don't know, I found out this officially today that Clarence Jr. CJ is the founding person behind that quote.
He said that on my shit.
Coaching. I didn't know for sure where it came from. I had my assumptions because I was like, that sounds like something Clarence would say, but I've just found out officially today that he
I remember
he started that.
And then I told him, I dare you make a fucking video about that, and he did it within 12 hours.
Damn. That's yeah. We needed to make that one go viral. We all should have shared it. Anyway, Sir Tyson in the building with a $10 super chat. He said, this is the problem. Guys like CJ, they promote what they are not doing. You think guys of old that married were completed projects when they I don't know what that is. Jump the broom. He says no, just say you're scared. That's one
That's a
theory.
very
That's
popular word today. I don't know where you get
but
this
okay,
damn
but
kid
see,
stuff
see,
from.
yeah, some of y'all are going a different route than where I would go with this. One, if he's with that woman and for whatever reason, if he don't want to get married to her, then goddamn it, don't. I mean, I'm not gonna push a man over the damn broom. I'm not gonna hold on, stop. I'm not gonna take a man and toss him over the broom that he don't want to jump over. That's fine with me.
That's not what
I'm
we're
good
saying.
with that. But okay, good.
We're saying stand on what the fuck you talking about.
I know.
Right. That's
I know.
what
I know.
that's
I
the
know.
part
I
I'm
know.
saying.
I know. I know. I know. I'm sorry.
Stand on
Good.
your,
Hold on. Wait.
with
Go on,
your
Stu.
life. Yeah.
Stu. Okay, and that's cool. All right. I'm glad we all clear on that. He should stand on what he's been talking about because he did a lot of streams where he's been on some shit. But here's the deal. This is my take on this. The second that he said this woman that he has kids with, that he's been with since juniors in college, he says he wants to marry her. My logical deduction is that if they're not married, it's because
I didn't ask yet. That's why. You gotta ask first. I haven't. It's really
I hope
simple.
Ed ain't doing an after
not-
stream.
it's
Y'all
not
been
gonna
on
be-
stream. I'm about
hold on.
to be on.
Here's my thing. I know y'all have talked about it extensively. This is my view because like you keep adding new plot twist into the story that just make it sound like you just making it up as you go along. But my assumption is that he wants it, she doesn't. That's where I'm at with it. I've seen that plenty of times. I worked with a woman who she was with a guy like 12 years. They had like 2 kids. And then, the subject of marriage came up. I assumed she was married. She's like, no, I'm not married. And I was like, well, why not? Just curious. Y'all been together since you was 20 years old? You 31 or 2 or something, like 32 like right now. You got 2 kids, but I'm just curious why y'all ain't married. She literally said, I'm not ready. I'm like, what the hell you mean you're not ready? You've been living like you've been married your whole damn adult life. And then when I scratched beneath the surface, when I got to know her a little better and found out who she was and found out she was fucking one of the coworkers, that's what not ready. Hold on. That's what not ready actually meant.
For her.
It meant that she it meant that she wasn't she didn't want to be a cheating wife. She didn't want to let go of aspects of freedom, and I guess I'm gonna use air quotes, the morals to say, when I do get married, I gotta stop doing bullshit, and I'm not ready to let go of all my bullshit. So when I hear a situation where a guy got kids with a woman, been with her for damn near a decade and a half, and he want to get married and they're not married, I just assume that the woman is on some bullshit in some kind of way. Now, CJ can say whatever he want, and I'm good with that, and I ain't gonna fight him on it. But that's my conclusion of this whole situation.
Well, yeah.
Let me
Kevin, hold on. I want to throw this out there. Kevin, here's the thing. This is why I keep saying this stuff post Kevin Samuels, this stuff in 2022. Because what a lot of folks, again, I'm gonna speak for the for like the representative, the diplomat of the space. What y'all not gonna do is project all the bad shit onto the black men that have come together to want to have these conversations. Like, goddamn, I just did a play-by-play of BGS's video where it was a chick on the Lapeef network. If you actually listen to how this chick was talking, and you deal with this conversation when we dealing with CJ, right. I'm sick of you confused ass motherfuckers. Like, I really am. It's like, here's the thing. Shout out to Angry Man. Angry Man believes in long-term relationships. Angry Man don't believe in marriage, but he has mapped out why that is. He is one of the ones that's kind of like the main diplomat for, because he's never been against black men just not. He ain't on the MGTOW shit. He ain't on black men just not dealing with. He actually does believe in long-term relationships without the paperwork. I can respect that because people have their valid reasons for that. And if a woman I don't know who that is. If a woman goes into that, then they going into that knowing it. What happens is, you're muted for some reason. What happens is women will lie and basically say all this shit with the dudes was not on point. So a little bit of that might have some truth to it, but for the most part, they're straight up bullshitting to get the blame off of them because that's what their real goal is. This is not just with Kevin, it just got popularized. When these women were able to talk outside of an argument, and they were saying what it was, it comes to what Bernard was saying. They not ready for this. It's more dudes that want to get married to black women than black women that actually want to get married, black women that are qualified to get married. Part of that qualification is the moral shit. The host, not the host, the confused shit. They can't resonate feminism with being a wife. That's why any bitch that talks about I want to be a partner, run. Because what the fuck you talking about, Clarence? That's a partnership. That ain't a man leading. That's a partnership right there.
What are you talking about?
The situation you in right now.
What situation am I in right now?
Wait, you're not married, but you got kids. The backward situation. Quite frankly, you should have never had kids with her. Real talk. That should have never happened. And not only did you have one, you have two, right?
Yep.
The first one was an accident. The second one was a choice. And so this is where dudes like Stu or like dudes like Complex will really come at you. Because the first one, fine, we'll let you get accidents happen. The second one, you made a decision. How far apart is the first kid from the second kid?
7
It's
years.
not a math equation. 7 years?
Yeah.
That's a choice.
That's a choice. And
when did I say it wasn't a choice?
My point is, you should have got married in between the two kids if it's that long. Like, you should have got the paperwork. There's no reason. And the reason why we're putting you on
I didn't want to at the time.
But the point is, yeah, so do you understand you would actually be classified as a part of being derelict a black woman will make you derelict in your manhood with why you want to. Understand, if you were with nothing but women and they were having this conversation with you, like the Lapid women, they could really come at you and make us all look bad on some shit that you talking about.
That's exactly what I wanted to say, Ed.
And with that being said, I'm gonna bow out and then let continue that and let the rest of y'all continue that.
I think what Ed said was right on point, right on target, and that's where I'm coming from.
Thank you. Same
here.
We
as men, if we're gonna sit on a platform and make statements and try to go after other men, at least be the man that can do that.
CJ, hold on, stop. I'll get throwing it right back to you, Uncle Stu.
All
CJ, right. Do not ask that disingenuous question.
No, I'm serious.
Who am I going at? That's a disingenuous question. Your whole goddamn channel is going after the Manosphere and the red pill. Don't say who you're going after. Like, come on, you can't. Like, you're being vague, obtuse, and disingenuous.
So
you created your channel to go after the sphere, and then so some of the things that you say, like that's what Uncle Stu was going, is that if you're going to call out men for not doing this and not doing that, then at the end of the day, you're categorically sounding like one of those men, even though I'm kind of giving you a pass. I mean, I'm throwing your woman under the bus, but I am giving you a pass saying that you actually do want what you're saying that you want. I'm saying my assumption is that she don't want it, but you can't say who am I going after when you create a whole channel to go after the men in this space. But
that would be inaccurate. I talk about black issues in general, both men and women.
But Clarence,
a big part of your channel is anti-Manosphere, anti-red pill. We can't make it seem like that ain't going on just because
But talking about the women is also a big part of it as well.
When a woman does something absolutely egregious, you might make a video saying, "Yeah, that was egregious." But the main central theme in what you do is go after not just men in general, but Manosphere and red pill specifically. But go ahead, Uncle Stu.
And I can say this, CJ, because I have seen a lot of your videos, so I can definitely argue those points. If I am a content creator, what I say I'm actually living, so I can actually show everybody the blueprint, and I got people that's in my personal life that can testify to my life. So if I'm gonna help men be better men, I better be damn sure the representative of what I am saying. I'm not just talking to be talking. So if I
got a quick question for you.
Sure.
Since you said you've seen some of the videos, is what I'm saying true or false?
False.
What's false?
Number one, you're going after the red pill. Do you even understand what that means? Do you recognize historically that Manosphere started in the 90s? Are you recognizing that you're talking to somebody that actually walked the Million Man March and was saying the exact same things? Do you recognize that you're talking to a man who has been through domestic violence before? Are you talking to a man that has and is a single father in the sense of raising daughters? So I know what the truth is versus the lies is in the sense of, and I have said it on my platform, I will continue to say it on my platform. I will not allow anybody to attack the red pill. Why? Because where the hell was all this attack in the 90s when black women were saying the same thing against black men? Nothing was said. Nothing was said about Oprah. Nothing was said about these white dudes who set up platforms and they call it Maury Povich and all of that other stuff. They made millions of dollars criticizing and crucifying black men. And now all of a sudden, when black men has a voice and begin to stand up, set the record straight, set the standard straight, and show by example, we are not deadbeat dads out here. We are not these dumb individuals out here, that we are actually black men who got jobs, careers, and an education. Now all of a sudden, everybody want black men to be quiet. Don't you shut up the red pill community. If you don't like it, do like everybody else. Just turn it off. But you will not allow them to be no longer silenced. I am one that's going to say the red pill community has every right to voice their community. You don't like what they got to say? No problem. Turn them off. Stop trying to make content about it, because unless you've lived the life, you don't understand a damn thing that they are saying. And me, as an older person, I've been through all the hell that they have been through. For me, it was by the grace of God that I was able to come out with my sound mind. Now that I have the mic, I will be damned I let some foolish person who ain't never lived life and don't understand life come after these men, and you ain't even doing half of the shit you want them to do. Stand up as a man. Either you're going to be a husband or you just going to be a talker. And I'm sick and tired of brothers like you. Why? Because these are the brothers that these women will look for, cut up, and put on their platform and say, see, told you these black men ain't shit. Told you these black men ain't no good. Look how he wasting her time. They're not going to listen to what your woman got to say. They're going to listen to you, and they're going to make you the poster child of black men, but they'll never make a black man that's an educated black man the poster child of what black men should be.
Okay, but I was asking you what point I made that you disagree with. I was just waiting for that.
Bruh, if I have to go through every single one of your videos,
I was just asking for like one example.
I took your whole platform and broke it all down. So the only thing you could do is go back to your platform, find some clip of mine, and try to go after me. But my argument is going to stand. Can you stand next to a black man that is a veteran? Can you stand next to a black man that has been a single father, married, divorced, came back, remarried, and now is a grandfather? Can you stand that I am a man who can sit in my house, pay all the bills, I am retired, and my woman works, got a career, got a master's degree, and she is submissive? My job is to show women what a real woman look like. You want to know why they won't put my wife on many platforms? Because she'll call them cap in a minute. Why? Because she come from a home. She come from a decent background. She come from a decent place. She made damn good money and was able to make that money before she met me. I was making my money before I met her, but I am a real man. So I can stand 10 toes down in the things I say and the things I do. I don't just come out here and say, well, you know, I've been married and my wife is a good woman, and maybe you men need to level up. You men need to do this. You men need to do that. How about, hey, my sister, that feminism that you learning, that's wrong. That ideology you have, it's wrong. You go ahead. You want to wait till you're 35 when there's too many examples of women 35, 40, 45, and guess what? They can't get a man. Why they can't get a man? Because let me help you, Clarence, because see, you ain't there yet. When you become 50 as a man, Dude, the value of your life is so high. You got what they call in the manosphere options. Dude, I had so many options. It was pathetic. I had more options at 50 than I did at 20. And I was a veteran of the United States Army. So what Ed was trying to explain to you is that when you get on a platform with grown ass men that has lived life, understood life, been through life, you can't run up on somebody. As much as me and we got two old folks on this platform, as much as me and Jay Speed may joke and laugh and this and that, the average person can't argue with Jay Speed's life or my life. We live life. And hell, Jay Speed is sometimes attacked on these platforms, but guess what? He still got a life. He still got history. He got examples.
I don't think.
Do you have any examples? What is the results of the things you say? I have results of the things I say. What are your results?
I don't think anybody was questioning your credentials. I may be wrong, but I don't recall that happening.
Fair enough. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff.
A little confused.
No. Good points. Good points, Uncle Stu. Good points, Uncle Stu. Modern day problem. I mean, well, you kind of validated OG Speed. I think he's lived a valid life, but the words that come out of his mouth be some bullshit a lot of times. But
there you go, Bernard. There you go.
All right.
He put on a tie for you now. He put on a tie for you.
Yeah, there you go, Bernard. Goddamn it. Here you go. Goddamn it. I'm trying to be your friend this morning. Goddamn it, but you're making it hard. I can't defend CJ or JC, whatever he is. He's wishy-washy, but I'm trying to hold on. I'm trying to represent him. I'm trying to look like Johnny Cochran up in here helping his ass, but he's making it very hard.
Damn, hey Tan, come back. I was about to go right back to you, but But modern day problems in the building with $20 super chat. He says nothing but love and support. Thanks for the content. Black men support fellow creators. Absolutely do appreciate the super chat. Appreciate everybody who supports the stream. Thank you. Who is that? Percy / astronaut status says I'm lost. How many pills are there? For me, I just say red and blue, all the other stuff.
About 7 of them.
I don't no. Truthfully is 4. It's purple and black, but I don't talk.
It's a white one too.
That's one content creator who's trying to basically create his own shit. So that don't count. That's just one dude in the white manosphere who's trying to. Yeah, I ain't even going. But Victor Carter in the building says CJ is called authentic leadership. Look it up. All right. Shout out to everybody in the building, everybody who's been supporting the stream. Man, I know I normally have a rule. I only can have one old nigga on the platform. Only one.
Talk about yourself
but that's CJ's lawyer. That's CJ's lawyer. So he's on the legal side right now.
Yeah, but the lawyer then abandoned his post. He said he can't even defend his client right now.
Hey, look, I'm just saying my summation at the end of this whole thing is going to be quite hard. He's making it quite hard for me, but I still think I can come through with it.
All right, go ahead, Tan. What you got? We probably gonna wrap this up at 3:00. Well, maybe. Well, I don't know. Who knows when we'll wrap it up? I'm not even gonna make a prediction. But go ahead, Tan. You got it.
Man, y'all got a dope show going on today, man. And
thank you.
I appreciate you guys standing up for what you guys believe in. And if anybody wants to say men don't get on other men and hold other men accountable, this video and these clips that you guys will have will show how we hold other men accountable. Because they always want to say we go hard at women and never at the men. And today, as you see, we're trying to hold somebody to the test of being a man and being a husband. So I appreciate you guys doing that and coming out here and
not just hold him to be a husband. Is more or less the type of stuff that he projects and that he says. Basically, holding him to the shit that he talks about. Put it like that. But anyway,
but the thing with the marriage thing, like that's what's weird because I can tell people when people don't be listening to what I be saying because like. All I do is talk about what should be, and then if I'm not doing it myself, I say within that same video that this is something I'm working on myself. So it's like it should come down to, is it the right thing or is it not?
I can say the right
You
thing.
know,
wait, hold on.
is
I didn't let
everybody-
Tan. Hold on. I didn't let Tan finish. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead,
Tan,
Tan.
are you there? Mic check 1 2 on Tan. All right. Okay, there. Wait.
I think it's frozen.
Yeah, he might be frozen. I think he was having problems before. That's probably why he dropped down. But
you gotta get rid of that whistling.
yeah, no, I think that's just me and Clarence set up together. I think because I never heard that problem.
No, you had it
I
yesterday
don't know where
too.
it's
You had it
coming
yesterday
from.
too. You had it
Okay.
yesterday. Okay.
All right. Whatever. I'll figure it out. But all right, we can damn near wrap this up. J Speed, I go to you, man. What you got? Fires taking us home, taking us out of here, and I even give CJ the last word.
Trying to get around this without being sued by my own client. I think he's missing the bigger picture of what was said today, because he's always saying, "What do y'all hear that at?" Well, you laid that down, and I could take it as at this point, my client is going to submit that he's got some mental challenges, and you can't hold him accountable for anything he's saying right about now, due to the fact we're going to take a plea mental disturbed. But CJ, on a serious note, I come up here and I get cussed out, thrown against the wall by some of the things I say, but you got to understand, even the people who say it's bullshit, it's what I believe in. It's just part of my 6 decades, going on 7, living. Your problem is you want it both ways. You want to complain about what we're doing over here, but you are not measuring up.
I'm critiquing.
Oh, we're critiquing. Well, critiquing. Okay, I take constructive criticism.
Like that's what I don't get. It's like y'all critique.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. I'm
all
taking.
the time. So what's the problem?
I'm taking.
No. The problem isn't. Hold on, wait, real quick. The problem isn't your critiquing. Is rather you're accurate or inaccurate. You're right. You're wrong. You're making sense or not making sense. It's not just the simple fact that you're critiquing. But go ahead, JSP.
Okay, but that's almost like, if you just listen to what I'm finna say now, that's almost like the preacher on the pulpit who's talking about women and the whores in the community and drinking and acting wild and men doing the same thing. Then you find out that he's pretty much got about 50 women on his dick, holding the Bible in one hand and the dick in the other hand. See, that's the problem. You're not seeing it. You have the right critique, but you said it just a minute ago, sir. You said you're working on it. And I think before you start critiquing other people, you should get your own house in check. That's the problem.
By that standard, nobody would be able to say anything.
No, it's not about that standard, but sometimes it's best to be silent and let people guess who you are versus open your mouth and you give yourself away. And that's the major problem with this right here. I'm not going to go and critique people and especially go in hard on them about something they're doing, and if I'm not the person who's trying to be an example of what I'm critiquing and trying to make them see my side of the story. Your problem is I'm like Bernard, I wouldn't force you to get married, but when you say to yourself, I'm not gonna rush into it. Well, what are you using the word rush? Have you look up that word rush? I think 12 and 13 years, that's not rushing any damn thing. So you have to make some definitions on get some better words to use, because you should never let that come out of your mouth. Rush is like 1 or 2 years, 3 years, 4 years.
Yeah,
but when you got 12
15,
years,
this is that damn near 15 years with
you can't use that word.
Don't want to rush into it. That's why it's my conclusion. That's why I am of the view, and I'm not even going to hold his feet to the fire on it, is that he's 15 years, 2 kids, and he said he wants to marry her. They not married. I think I'm making a simple deduction. She don't want to be married, but that just.
And you might be right with that, Bernard, but it has more to do with.
It sounds like you're thinking it's him. I think
it's his characteristic that got him feeling like, just like what you said, he feel like this ain't the time because he, for whatever cookie jar he's sticking his finger in, that he has to keep rebuilding trust issues. I think that's the major problem. And so I will say, to defend my client, that we all have weakness, and that's one of the things he's gonna work on.
Why you assuming that CJ out there slang like he ain't?
No, I ain't say he was slanging. Look, I didn't say
CJ ain't got a bunch of holes on the side.
No, I'm not saying CJ slanging, but I'm just
right.
what I'm saying is, whatever the issue is, but it don't really, sometimes when women have in their mind that they have trust issue with you, there's some characteristics that you are showing, and he knows that, and then he don't want to go into it, but he knows it. He knows why that he haven't asked her to marry him yet. He knows that. He knows it's not the right time because he ain't the right man yet, even though he's in the house.
OG, you helping her gaslight him.
But no. What I'm trying to say is, Bernard, to sum it up, is when you having relationship problems, and you're probably the problems that we have in the community on either side, to go out and critique anyone, that's just no. Because what happens
that means
is,
should nobody be talking then?
I understand you believe that in your head, but that's not in your action, my brother. And for me to try to represent you to win this damn case, with a mental challenge, you gotta keep it
quiet, right? Just
yeah,
be quiet,
you gotta
right?
be quiet. This is why lawyers don't let their clients speak on the witness stand, because you hurting it. I'm trying to slide it in there and get you out of here safely. But anyway, recheck some of your things, and please take that rush out of your out of your vocabulary in the first place. Archer, I didn't know who you was. I do apologize. I haven't seen you in a long time. I forgot you was the ain't shit Archer, and I know you from experience. No, he always say that about himself.
That was his name, Archer.
Yeah, that was his name, and I take everything back that I said to you earlier, Archer, and I do apologize. I rest my case.
All right, Archer wanted to get one more thing, and we about to wrap it up. But go ahead, real quick,
I want to get one thing about Clarence and his situation. See, I understand where OG is coming from, and I agree with him. Maybe the woman doesn't trust him, and that's what's making the marriage kind of drag along. But that's part of the problem. That woman doesn't trust him, but she still had 2 babies by him. See, if he's not the problem for not wanting to get married before he has the kids, she's the problem by having babies by niggas she don't trust. So it's either way you want to frame the argument, he's in a messed up situation. Simple as that.
So, Your Honor, being that the prosecutor gets the last word, I think Clarence needs to be listening to those in the Manosphere and the Red Pill and begin to really speak on behalf of the Manosphere instead of against the Manosphere. And I will concede from this.
I don't speak against the Manosphere. I speak against the Red Pill in particular.
Dude, it's the same shit. It's the same shit. Cut it out.
He don't speak against Jesus. He speaks against God. What? Bro.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is black men and Red Pill are not one and the same.
First of all, let me
you said silence is your best defense, Clarence. Silence is your best defense.
I didn't realize how much of a prolific sidestepper you were. I thought you was more of a make your point and just stand in it and just be wrong if you're wrong. Like,
bro, that's not a sidestep. That's a Euro step, bro. That's epic.
So are you saying that you Red Pill is a prerequisite to be Manosphere?
No, let me say this.
Hold
on. No. Let me say this. Because I made the statement. I said, stand on. Manosphere to me is not just a particular space. As a male content creator, stand on your male centeredness. If you're going to stand on men aren't doing what they're supposed to do, then my argument is going to be stand on it as an example. What's the example? I can't critique Bernard and say, Bernard, you need to be doing this on your channel. You need to be doing that on your channel. Then he go to mine and I only got 26 subscribers.
It depends. If what you said was true, then it's true. Like we get too caught up in, a lot of times we get caught up in the messenger. And it's like, is the message true or not?
All
That's
right.
the main thing.
JC the Conqueror in the building. He says Manosphere is red. He said Manosphere is what she was worded that better. Manosphere is red pill. It the same, bro. I mean, yeah, the two are connect. I think Archer had the right analogy that connecting like Jesus and God, or if like I ain't about to get too deep into that. But the Magic Trucker said get some JSP, get some lessons from TLA, but to say that I don't go after the manosphere, I go after red pill. But when most of the people in the manosphere, or most of the people recognized in the manosphere, will consider themselves either red pill, or they have talking points or tenets or things that they believe that line up with it. So it's like you're that it's a sidestep. It's a sidestep. But I'll give you the last word, CJ. I'll give you the last
And
word.
just before that, Your Honor,
come on now, shit.
Wait. Just before that,
See, that's why
just,
you don't be too old
just
people
before
up here.
that, just before that, Your Honor, I understand that my client is in your eyes is guilty as we speak. I'm getting him into rehabilitation and in some counseling. So could you just please have some mercy on him? I do ask you that.
Yeah, he says Manosphere is the tree, red pill is the branch. I almost might say red pill might be the tree.
Yeah,
Okay, I don't know.
I think there's branches that came out the red pill, and that's how I would concede it.
Yeah. But I don't know. The two are obviously connected. But go ahead, CJ. You got the last word. I give you the last word, and we get the hell up out of here.
All right. Well,
and thanks for being a good sport.
No problem.
Yeah. Don't worry, CJ. My administrator is watching, so we'll get you on the calendar.
All right, sounds good. But basically, what I would say is this: the reason I critique just black men in general, which also includes myself, and I say that in my videos, is because it's my belief that men should be harder on each other first, and women should be harder on each other. Like, men should hold men more accountable than women do, and women should hold women more accountable than men do. That's number one. And then number two, let's see. I almost forgot.
Well, while you say let's see, I'll say translation on that. He's trying to, in a convoluted, contrived way, to simply protect women from criticism. I'm
not saying
that was another phase of the just shut up argument.
Hey,
that was another phase of I don't like what y'all are saying. I'm about to try to figure out a way to get y'all to just stop saying it. That's what that is. But anyway,
I'm not saying don't critique women. I'm just saying we should critique men more so.
I know. The manosphere is what the manosphere is, and a big part of what the manosphere does is give social commentary on all the social dynamics between male and female from a male's perspective, and of which that a lot of critique and criticism of the modern woman comes out of that, because men are being spoken up for in this space, and that's more or less what this space is. The male side, the male point of view being argued for. Now, if a man is on some outright bullshit, then yeah, we're going to call out the outright bullshit. But generally speaking, we're talking we advocate for men. So
and you should advocate for men.
And if you so you're trying to figure out a contrived, convoluted way to shut down male advocacy under the guise of men should critique men should critique men.
You don't agree with
I do agree with that, but you're coming to a space that does a specific thing and trying to figure out a way to just get them stopped, because again, you got your cape on and trying to figure out a way to protect women from criticism.
Well, I didn't say stop. I just said add another. I'm just saying add another component. That's all.
But you fell in your own trap because we're critiquing you now.
All right, and I did you hear me say, "Oh, y'all shouldn't be able to critique me"? I'm dropping down off the panel.
No. We're not saying that. We're just saying sometimes you lay traps on somebody else and you get your own feet caught in.
Hey, it's all good. And as far as the whole marriage thing, I haven't really gone into detail, but okay. I'll put it like this: I will drop a video at some point today. Just to explain the whole thing. That way, we can put it to bed.
All right. We're gonna wrap it up right there. Thank you for
Bernard,
thank you. Holy
I
shit.
got one thing to say, please. Me and my friend who's 30, going on 40 something years, 39, going on 40 something years.
You got a friend that's 50 years younger than you?
And, well, about the same age. But he interviewed Freeway Rick, and y'all might know him by Rick Ross. He's the godfather of crack cocaine.
Yeah.
And you'll find out some interesting things about him. He wanted to be a tennis star. So if you can tune in at 12 o'clock on my channel, that you hear the full interview.
By 12 o'clock, you mean
Pacific time.
So that's 3 o'clock for those of us on the East Coast, I believe.
Right.
4 o'clock for the Central, for people Central, or I don't know if Central is up or down.
Well, Eastern time is like 3 hours. Then you got 2 hours.
Okay, so that would be 2 o'clock for those who are Central, 3 o'clock for those who are Eastern, and then 12 o'clock for those who are over there on the West Coast.
And the people who are familiar with John Singleton, Serious Snowball, a lot of that is just Hollywood within itself. I have had an interview with Freeway Rick back in the 90s when he first got out of jail. So you'll go find out some very interesting things. And I'm not glamorizing drug dealers. You'll find out he remorsed for what he did. And you'll find out what he's doing today. If you tune in, what he's doing with his life today. And so I think it'd be very interesting for the people to know how this stuff got started. This man was making $3 million a day. Think about it.
Goddamn.
He was making $3 million a day. Sometimes he was selling up to 5,000 kilos a day, just in California. So y'all tune in.
All right. And with that said, we getting out of here. Thank you, everybody who supported the stream in any way, shape, or form. Appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks again, CJ, for being a good sport. We appreciate you coming through, facing the firing squad. I think we didn't go too hard. I don't think we went too hard on you. But all right. With that said, we are out of here. Peace. We gone.